Konnichiwa, konbanwa, good evening. This is Gray from Wakasashi's Tea House over in Japan. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you genki? Are you feeling it yet? Are your spirits up? Are you ready for a fantastic New Year's Eve? Oh, wait a minute. That's right. It's already New Year's Eve here in Japan. It's 2 p.m. So we've got, how long is that? I can do math. 8 hours to go. No, that's 10. We've got 10 hours to go to New Year. There we go. So a quick cheers. Kanpai, everybody. Here we go. Oh. Now, today we're going to be talking fantastic British movie from 1981, Time Bandits. And I've got two fantastic guests to bring in and help me with this conversation. First of all, we have, all the way from the mighty UK, Purple Valkyrie.
Hello, Gray. Happy New Year's Eve.
Thank you. Happy New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve there too, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We will be, yeah.
Awesome.
We're getting closer to the new year, to 2023. Good God, yes.
You know, Purple, after the crazy year we've had this year, which you can't even sum it up, can you, in like a 2-page essay. We're hoping for a really good and bright and optimistic 2023, aren't we?
Oh, yes. Fingers crossed for that. And let me say congratulations. I knew you'd get monetized before the new year.
Oh, thank you. I know. It's still sinking in. I couldn't believe it. We got past 1,000, didn't we? This time last week, you guys all helped me out with the stream on which I can't remember at the moment what the movie we covered.
Because it's the anime.
Oh God, Tokyo Godfathers. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I know how to stream. Salty, Purple. And speaking of salty, I have one of my favourite American Texans, or is he from Texas? He used to be. I'm not sure where he's from now. It is Salty, Travelling C. Are you muted, brother? You love doing this. I think he does this on purpose, Purple, doesn't he?
No, it's your goddamn StreamYards. Can I just say this? Is this your first super chat?
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot. It's the first time. Yeah, I switched it on. I actually switched it on.
Sweet.
Congratulations, Gray. You worked so hard for this. Seriously. Daniel, hail to you. Look at this. Yeah, bring that super chat up, Gray. There you go.
Daniel, thank you. Hey, check it out, Gray. A super chat button. Oh my God, be careful with that button. Use it very carefully and wisely. Okay, but thank you so much. That's amazing.
Well played. I wanted to send one first, but I'll hit him.
No, don't worry, mate. Come on. You guys, you're here with me on the panel, which is all I need. That's awesome. And thank you for your support.
Hail to Daniel. Hail to Nosferatu the Vampire. A lot of these people were over on Zach's 12-hour marathon stream, which has been brilliant all day. So thanks for coming over and checking us out over here.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I know it's a busy, crazy night. I didn't think anybody would be here. I thought it was just going to be me talking Time Bandits for maybe 10 minutes and then, okay, see you later, opening a beer. But Purple, you were over with Zax as well at one point. How did that go, the Two Towers stream?
It was great. Yeah, he's had a lot of guests on today, a lot of people rotating through. And the one thing that I've taken away from it is that everybody loves these films. Nobody has said anything negative. They've kind of gone back and forth about which are the favourites and which are the best scenes, who are the best actors. But nobody has said that these films are bad.
Yeah. I guess we weren't just racist and all toxic and misogynist back then. Huh? We just must all turn that way.
5 minutes, folks. 5 minutes.
Hail to your Barmy. I haven't seen you before, but cheers to you. It's great to see you.
Yeah, your Barmy. Great to see you. Thank you so much for the donation. That's awesome. Everything, of course, goes directly to the channel. I really appreciate it. And we've also got in the chat, of course, Salty and Purple are here. Your Barmy. Daniel, great to see you. Jay, the Deep-Minded, again, all the way from the UK, I think. Or she could be in Iceland, or maybe halfway between. Great to see you. Thanks for popping in. And Nosferatu, my God, my vampire brother. What would I do without you? Thank you so much for your support this year, mate, and your friendship.
Hail to you, Nos.
What's he saying? Why would you do this, Gray? Now you've forced my hand against Zax. Come on, yeah. Zax has had like 10 hours already.
10 and a half.
10 and a half.
Yeah.
KC Charlie Chats. Oh, I think it's the first time. Great to see you. Thank you. Hail everyone and Happy New Year 2023. We're almost there in Japan, mate.
Very close.
Sean Estep is here with a wave and a bottle of champagne, I think, some fireworks. Speaking of fireworks, Salty Purple, we don't have it in Japan. They don't do the New Year's fireworks. How about where you guys are?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
They do
yes.
fireworks here, and also everybody shoots off guns, which is awesome too. So
Bring your own fireworks.
yeah, true story.
Shield Wall of the Dragons, I have 4 streams up now simultaneously. I need to pass an intelligence check or go insane. Oh, mate, Shield Wall, thanks a lot. I appreciate you dropping in.
Hail to you, Shieldwell.
Jacob Ironside as well in the chat. Hail from Texas. Brilliant, mate. Have I missed anybody? I think that's everybody. Yes,
Yeah,
there we go.
there you
Jay
go.
the Deep Minded again. So, still in Iceland. Still freezing cold. So, Purple, sorry, I was asking you, do you have fireworks near where you are in the UK? Because I know there's a huge thing in London, isn't there?
Oh yes, yeah. There's fireworks everywhere, not just in like the city centre, but all the neighbours will be setting them off, and it's pretty much fireworks from Boxing Day all the way through to New Year's Day. People would just keep setting them off.
I'm from Manchester, so yeah, we used to have a bit of a fireworks, what do you call it, show, but very short one. But the London one's pretty impressive. But I
It
think you
is.
have to pay for that, don't you? You have to pay a lot of money these days. They're very careful about who they let in. They put big fences up, so you got to have a ticket. Goodwill
Wait,
to all
that's-
men.
Wait, what country is that? Can I move there? Never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't move to the UK, mate. I tell you. No offense to the UK, but
No, don't worry
it's
about that. Nope.
not the same
offense.
country it was when I was growing up, when this film came out. And speaking of this film, I just want to give a very quick introduction for anybody out there who doesn't know what it is. It's Time Bandits, a 1981 British fantasy adventure film, co-written, produced and directed by Terry Gilliam of Monty Python fame, and of course, so much more. It stars... Well, go for it.
Executive producer is the Beatles' George Harrison. It's a true story.
George.
He loved the idea, and he did the music for the soundtrack. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Okay, no, you're right. It says, financed by the Beatle, or the ex-Beatle, George Harrison's Handmade Films, who also helped to produce one of my favourite movies ever, which no one ever watches, despite my recommendations, with Nell and I. Yay!
I don't know.
So
what
yeah,
that
it's saying,
is.
guys, it says it stars an incredible cast, yeah. Sean Connery, John Cleese, Shelley Duvall, Ralph Richardson, Catherine Helmond, not sure, Ian Holm, Michael Palin, Peter Vaughan, and David Warner, to name just a few. Okay, so let's get on with the movie review, because this is supposed to be a movie review show, isn't it? But it feels like an early New Year celebration. And again, huge thank you for your support. And I really can't believe it got monetized. So yeah, I thought they were going to be
I told you would, and I'm sharing an
Great.
image. This is probably the most iconic image from the 1981 film Time Bandits. This is a scene where Kevin, the child who is, I guess you would say, the hero of the story, we follow the hero's journey with young Kevin, and he encounters these crazy dwarves that are time-traveling dwarves on the run from the superior power in the universe. Yes, you heard me correctly. Gray, we were talking before we went live about how, as an 80s kid, this movie was everything. This movie was absolutely everything in what it was like to be an 80s kid. Do you agree with
Absolutely.
that?
I do. I agree with it. And you were making some great points in the studio, mate. I first saw it on TV. I don't know how old I was. I probably, in either early teens or it could have been like 10 or 11. And I was totally blown away. I was scared at times. I was thrilled.
God, yeah.
I was moved. I was almost in tears when one character, as we say, it's not really a death, but what happens to the young boy in his character? He meets a fantastic father figure, and then he's taken away from this kind of father figure.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
That really got to me. But yeah, Sean Connery, speaking of that, Sean Connery's in here.
Yes. When
No
once
spoilers.
more, not even attempting to not do a Scottish accent.
True.
I love it.
And not just, I mean, there are so many amazing actors in this show, but also John Cleese, who of course was part of Monty Python along with Terry Gilliam, and he plays this insufferably royal family like Robin Hood. It's actually kind of hysterical to watch. I was watching this with Purple, and I was like, Purple, I've always thought that was like an imitation of him doing the royal family, and being dismissive of the commoners. And she
Yes.
said, yep, that's
it.
exactly what it is. Oh God.
Those kind of
These guys
bland platitudes when he's talking to them. Yeah.
Oh God, this movie is just the best. It really is.
Daniel's got a good point here. The comment there used to be a long history of little people. Are we allowed to say that? Hey, in Blade Runner, you know how it goes, Deckard. If you're not Blade Runner, you're little people. Anyway, in movies that seem to go away until Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's gone even further away now.
And I've got a picture of Sean Connery, the real James Bond, to me, my James Bond, in this movie playing King Agamemnon, who actually battles a Minotaur. This movie is crazy.
It's fantastic.
I love that Minotaur design as well. It's all kind of rotten and there's bits falling off it.
Yeah.
It's pure Terry Gilliam, isn't it? He loves the kind of grotesque, the incredible, the amazing. The effects in this are dated, of course, but it's very practical, Salty, isn't it? There's a lot of practical effects.
Virtually all. And what there is, there's 80s matte painting a little bit in some of the large scenes. But it's all practical effects, including when what you think is just a ship on the ocean turns out to be the hat for a giant out of the water. If you haven't seen this movie, I cannot recommend this enough. And we were talking about what genre would you put Terry Gilliam's film in, because there's really only one Terry Gilliam. Now you can look at other absurdist directors like David Lynch, right? David Lynch, Twin Peaks and Blue Velvet and all that type of stuff, and Wild at Heart. It's a dark weird, like Portland dark weird. And then you've got this jovial, off the wall, crazy, but it seems good natured Terry Gilliam doing absurdist stuff. Now I know 12 Monkeys was kind of on the dark side, and Brazil's on the dark side.
Yeah,
but this movie's just so much fun. It just is.
It is, yeah. And I think the last big film that he did was the Dr. Parnassus, but what was the one with Robin Williams as well? Baron Munchausen.
The Fisher King.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Fisher King was outstanding, and if you haven't seen Baron Munchausen, we should review that, because I was working in a movie theater when that came out, and I loved that movie. You also have a young Uma Thurman take her clothes off and emerge like Botticelli's Venus in a scene.
From a shell from the sea. It's unbelievable.
The movie was a huge artistic success, but a box office failure, and it kind of destroyed Terry Gilliam's career because it lost so much money. But
I remember that, Salty. Yeah, it was big news at the time. Fantastic movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Sorry, Purple, go for it.
Time Bandits was kind of the opposite of that, because it did very well at the box office.
It made a lot of money.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It was originally released only on about 800 theaters, and it made a bunch of money for the time. And so they re-released it on more theaters, and it doubled the money it made. And it was actually the 13th highest grossing movie of 1981. Look at all the movies that came out in 81.
Wow.
But the budget for this was nothing. And so, Terry Gilliam and George Harrison just raked in a huge stack of cash making this movie. So, yeah.
According to Wikipedia, $5 million budget, and it made $42.4 million.
Yeah, and that's in 1981 dollars,
I'd take $1981 now.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Nosferatu. Nosferatu's trying to put me off with the comments, but he's made a good point here. Nosferatu's saying Terry Gilliam is very much an artist rooted with surrealism, but the way he blends it into reality is brilliant.
You just nailed it. Nosferatu, not for the first time tonight or in a live stream, hit it right on the head. Yeah, I mean, and then you end up with Ian Holm. Everybody knows, and I've got a share up for you, Gray, if you want to throw that up. Ian Holm plays Napoleon. He's Napoleon in this, and he's obsessed with his height. But what's crazy about this is we were just talking about the Lord of the Rings all day for 12 hours. And who is Ian Holm? He plays Bilbo in the Peter Jackson original Lord of the Rings films. So it's crazy. It's just all of this is crazy.
It's all connected, Sody. It's all connected. All the streams are connected. The ley lines are kicking in. You know how it goes. Dude, just shout out to Tim's Talk in the chat as well. Tim's Talk, how you doing, man? Great to see you.
Hail.
So, Purple, we were talking about, it is a Terry Gilliam film. It looks like it. It feels like it. It sounds like it. It's bonkers. What did you think of the performances? Because apart from the really big names, we had, as Salty was saying, a lineup of not quite the 7 dwarves. Was it 6? I kind of lost count, but some great smaller actors. I don't have to say it. What can you say these days?
I thought the dwarf actors were fantastic, especially
Yeah.
we had Kenny Baker in there. They seem to have a really good camaraderie. I really like Jack Purvis, who played Wally, who was probably my favourite of the group. The only downside for me was the kid that played Kevin. I know he was trying his hardest, but child actors, especially in the 80s, they're very hit and miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's crazy because I wanted to look up that kid and I wanted to see if he did anything else, and he didn't. He was a one and done guy. He did some theater
Okay.
acting, like on stage. He was part of a like low tier 80s synth band for a while, and I don't know what he does, but no disrespect. But it was crazy because the kid who played this role, is only 1 week older than I am. So your man Salty was the same age as this kid when this movie came out, and it's maybe that's why it's so meaningful, you know. But yeah, Kenny Baker, R2D2, plays himself, is a dwarf or a midget or whatever the hell it is in this movie, and he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant.
They're all brilliant, aren't they, Purple? The comedy, the kind of the scenes they have together, they act so well together. They kind of bounce off each other in the scenes. I thought it was really, really impressive.
They do. For a film that's technically a kid's film, it's very high energy, but it doesn't shy away from being scary as well. And Salty talked about those characters, and we'll probably get to them a little bit later on. And there are some pretty intense scenes, but apparently we were made of sterner stuff back in the 80s.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there were no sympathetic villains. The villains were bad. You killed the villains. You didn't go, oh no, their mommy didn't buy them a pony and therefore they can commit genocide. No, that didn't happen in the 80s, you know?
They were meant to scare you, and they did. You were meant to, root against them. You weren't supposed to root for them, although you can talk about the anti-hero as well. But yeah, in this, Salty, like, and Purple, the opening scene where they kind of set the scene, it's a boy's bedroom, and he's asleep in bed, and he hears something. His closet, his cupboard, as we say in the UK, his closet bursts open, and a knight on a horse comes jumping out and jumps over his bed. It's unbelievable. Closely followed by the Time Bandits.
Yes, I think it's also worth mentioning the parents, because they're only seen pretty much at the beginning of the film and at the end of the film, and you can really see the conflict that Kevin has, because he, especially when he does meet Sean Connery's character Agamemnon, he's like, well, I've got a mom and dad, but I'd rather stay with you, to be honest.
Well, and in a lot of ways, though, that was the Gen X kids' childhood. They called us the latchkey kids for a reason. We were the first generation just kind of left on our own because our boomer parents were so busy living their lives. We were kind of just, good luck, kid. And, I'm not crying anybody a river, but we were incredibly responsible because we had to be. And in some ways, the boomers never actually grew up. It was still always about them. And there really wasn't any room for us, which is why our generation was quite literally skipped over by most marketing firms. And they went straight to the millennials because we didn't believe anything anybody said. We didn't trust anything anybody said, with good reason. Now, this is the big bad. Purple, you take this one. Talk about this actor. I know you love him.
I do. I love David Warner, and you could tell he was having an absolute blast with this character. I mean, he looks ridiculous. He sounds ridiculous. He's got these long fake nails that they've put on him, and he's zapping all of his henchmen. But I can't say you root for him, but he is very charismatic. You muted, Gray.
He is Purple, you're right. He loves it. He's having a great time. It's clear. He's like almost eating up the scenery, and Salty and Purple, not just him, but his kind of henchmen of weirdos.
They're amazing.
Did you get 12 Monkeys vibes from the way they were dressed? They had the kind of the plastic and stuff, and
I think he used that same look because they have plastic. They have these clear plastic raincoats. One has a rhinoceros horn. They've got these tubes flowing out of them. But this whole thing, and it's an underlying theme within this movie, is the danger of technology and how evil this is. Evil. He's the embodiment of evil. Wants to learn all about computers and all about all these things because he sees it as a way to make everything evil and to take over the world. And it's crazy sitting here now in 2022 realizing, that's kind of what happened, if we're honest about it.
Wait a minute, the film became reality, are you saying?
Yeah. It's, but the
that?
bad guys, obviously this is a child's movie, so, it's going to be kind of campy, but at the same point, he kills one of the adventurers. He's dangerous, and he has some of the scariest henchmen that look like Nazgul. They really do look like Nazgul.
Yeah,
you know,
they do.
I'll bring that picture up, but yeah.
Yeah, they were freaky, and he has no, you know, he doesn't care about his henchmen. He'll take them out.
doesn't.
He turns them into, I think he turns one into a dog at one point to teach him a lesson. And he's just he's a good villain. He's kind of villain you can get behind and say, okay, yeah, this guy's unpleasant. We get it. But just going back to what you were talking about, the technology taking over. Do you think that that's why kind of Gen X is so suspicious and so kind of against the technology taking?
Could be. It's a good point. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Because this, as you know, it's very early. This isn't it, 1981. And they're talking about, what is it, VCRs and car telephones. It was like a real precursor to, what's happened since then. It's gone insane. But I don't know. Salty, what do you reckon?
I think it was. I mean, I remember being in class. It was in junior high, and there's the bad guy, and there's the henchman that I talked about with the rhino head and the tube sticking out of him and the plastic trash bag.
It's so Gilliam. Just look at that scene.
It's crazy, right? I mean, look at him. David Warner's being David Warner. And what's crazy is the very next year, because this film was in 1981, 1982, he was Control. He was the bad guy in Tron as well, which is crazy when you think about it. But to answer your question, yeah. I mean, they always said it's never going to be exploited. It's just a tool. It's only going to make your life easier. And now here we are. I mean, I know I keep saying it I would love an EMP. Love a coronal mass ejection. Because maybe we need to go back to human and being less about this stuff, But
just backing up what you both were talking about, Jay, the deep-minded, saying, we had real villains in our stories in the 80s, and nobody gave us any trigger warnings or provided safe spaces. How did we ever grow up so well-adjusted?
It's a mystery, isn't it? Yes, you think back to some of the films that we had. It's like Never-Ending Story. That was pretty intense. Yeah.
Labyrinth was a little bit freaky, campy, but also dark.
It's almost like they wanted kids of previous generations to not be able to defend themselves or to know what evil is. It almost feels like that maybe that's what's going on. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
And Daniel, you're right. He did make a fantastic Tron villain. He was awesome. He's awesome in everything I've seen him in, David Warner, and he greatly missed.
Yeah. Yes, there was somebody else that I didn't realize until I checked the credits who was greatly missed, and someone that I have a lot of respect for. It was a voice actor by the name of Tony Jay, who voiced the Supreme Being, the head that appears. And I thought, I know that voice, and it was. And I was like, oh, that's kind of awesome. He has that very deep Shakespearean voice.
Yeah. These are the monsters I was talking about. These are the henchmen. There, of course, is Kevin. He's the young boy. And then the pig head is one of the dwarves that the bad guy, David Warner, transformed into a half pig creature. But they're these crazy 7 feet tall, black robe, cattle skull, cattle things. And they only have like this hook for an arm, and they're running down the hall, towering with their black robes with this hook, trying to get this
making the shrieking noise.
Yeah, it's like the shrieking eels from Princess Bride, only not ironically. But yeah,
as a kid, you were scared, Salty, aren't you? You're scared by this as a kid watching this. Absolutely brilliant, terrifying. And you should be. That's part of the fun of the movie. You're meant to be scared. You're meant to be, moved and shaken, and then calmed, and then risen up, uplifted.
Yeah.
So, oh dear. Remember when movies did that?
I do.
That's great.
I mean, but that's what was so great about watching this movie. And you can tell people in chat that have seen this movie. It's one of those things that it is a moment in time. It really is. But at the same point, I haven't seen this movie in 20, 30 years and sat down to watch it. And I'm just, God, this is such a good movie. It's fun,
It is. It's really well shot. The cast are fantastic. The costuming looks amazing. And we were saying how a lot of the cities, especially where Agamemnon is, actually looks like people live there. The sets that they built.
Yeah, the sets for this look better than the Rings of Power. And I'm not being ironic. I mean, they really, really do. Same thing with Wheel of Time. It had a lived-in world. You believed that this was happening. You really did.
It's interesting you're both talking about the costume in there, because that's been getting a lot of criticism these days with certain shows, certain modern shows made for modern audiences. Why do you think that is? Is it a budget thing, or what? They just don't have the money, or they don't care?
I don't know. When you're not hired for meritocracy and you're hired for being either an ideologue or a toy, just say that, for leadership, you don't really have to do your job. You just have to have a certain skin color or sleep with a certain gender, and you get to keep your job. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm running out of explanations. I really am.
No, you're good. Purple, just to bring it to this photo, I don't know if you've noticed in a lot of Gilliam movies, he has this like thing for showing theatre or almost pantomime, which is a very British thing, the pantomime thing. He loves it, like Punch and Judy show with Napoleon, Ian Holm, that was hilarious.
Yes, I was speaking about that, and I was asking, do different countries have something of equivalent to it? Because obviously, Gray, you're familiar with the Punch and Judy show.
Yeah. So you saw that. What did you make of that? Where, you've got, okay, I know it's a funny scene, it's a comedy scene, but basically Napoleon is watching Punch and Judy. He doesn't care.
I love this. I love this
whole.
I remember watching this as a kid and going, all of Europe is burning, because Napoleon is on the march, and you know what he's doing? He's watching a Punch and Judy show, worrying about how tall all the other dictators and conquerors of the world were. He's talking about how he's taller than Alexander the Great. I want to get back to what the Thad That Shouldn't Be said, and said Warner played Chancellor Gorkin in Star Trek 6. It's true. He was really good in it. As well, he was in The Omen, The Company of Wolves, Miles of Madness. That is a trippy ass movie, The Miles of Madness. He's a great actor. He really is.
What a list of movies there. Wow.
But it's funny because there are so many echoes of this in Baron von Munchausen that came out in 89, which would have been 8 years later. There's so many callbacks to it with the costuming and the style in the Commedia dell'arte, or this type of theater style that they're having there. But there's nothing about this movie that's wasted. Ever. Every scene serves a purpose, and every scene you're like, oh my God, I'm actually back in this time. And there's a complete suspension of disbelief in this movie. There really is. And I don't know, maybe it's because I saw this when I was like 11 or 12, and that's a million years ago. But this is it's a beautiful, good movie.
Yes, for me, the central plot of what they were doing with stealing the map kind of gets lost in it, but you don't mind because they're jumping from scene to scene, and each of these scenes are so good. You're so drawn into what's actually happening. You don't really care what their end goal is, which is a little bit vague. They just want riches, so they're stealing from people and jumping through different time zones.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, the guys, about not having a moment wasted, were you surprised how long the movie was? Because I'd forgotten it was about an hour 55, and there's a version on YouTube, by the way, you can get. It's in English. It says it's in Spanish, but it's actually an English version, so check it out.
I think it's gone great.
Yeah, we looked. It's blocked in the United States, so I actually have a physical copy of the DVD that I got. We'll just say it's a duplicate off of eBay. We'll just say that. But and then some other people know how to sail the high seas, and maybe you can watch that way too. But
The Thad That Shouldn't Be, good to see you, mate, says Gilliam filmed this movie and Brazil, another great movie by him, at the same time.
Yeah, it's fascinating because I was looking at, how people like to deconstruct every goddamn thing. Like, what does this mean? What does that mean? But Terry Gilliam, people are saying that Terry Gilliam, the 3 movies, so the perspective of Kevin, that's the young boy, the 11-year-old boy in Time Bandits. In Brazil, it's a 30-year-old man, Winston, obviously in Brazil. And then Baron Munchausen is from the perspective of an old man. So they're trying to say this is actually the evolution of like an adult male. Now, I don't know if that's true. I think it's maybe a reach. But this was one of the coolest scenes, and it still trips me out to watch this today, where our heroes, the dwarves and Kevin, fall out of the sky into the ocean after escaping a famous shipwreck. We'll just say that. And then they get picked up by a troll with a bad back and his cannibal wife. And then this happens. And it's like, this is so Terry Gilliam. It's just, I don't know. It's a wonderful movie. It's a wonderful, insane movie.
It is. And it's bizarre to see him you know him from his work with Monty Python, so you used to seeing these kind of weird things happen in the intervals that he does, but to see it with actual live actors and this guy with a boat on his head, it's such a strange thing to see, and I completely forgot about that particular scene. I was like, what the heck is going on here?
Me too. It's a fantastic scene. If you're watching it, you'll see the time bandits are on a boat in the middle of the ocean. They've managed to get rid of the ogre and his wife, and then suddenly the ship starts to move like uncertainly, and it starts to tilt, and then it lifts out of the water, and underneath there's a giant like wearing it on his head. Gilliam's imagination at that time, unbelievable. Purple and Salty. Do you reckon a lot of this came from his collaboration with the Monty Python team in the past?
I'll let Purple go first on that one.
I would imagine so. I mean, that's where his genius shone. I mean, he was very funny, obviously, in the skits, but it was always he did the animated breaks in between the live action
Classic.
skits. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would think so. But it was great to see Michael Palin and John Cleese back.
Yeah. And speaking of Michael Palin, that's him on screen with a very young Shelley Duvall who almost looks attractive, which is like she was the same one in The Shining and creepy looking, but it's a reoccurring thing throughout the various scenes in time that they travel through where this pair are in love, and something always happens to disrupt them, either about to kiss or about to propose and other things like that. And this is one scene where Michael Palin is trying to get it on with Shelley Duvall, and they get hijacked by bandits, and he pisses himself, and it's just great.
He has a problem.
He's got a problem downstairs in all of these different reoccurring gags. It's just hysterical.
Great to see him sending himself up as well, isn't it? It's great to see that. As you say, like a lot of big names in this that we know of, but only very small parts. Like John Cleese, as you talked about earlier, he was hilarious as a very kind of poshly spoken Robin Hood. Oh, hello, oh, thank you so much for donating your treasure. The time when it's like, wait a minute, no, this is ours. What are you talking about? So he steals their stolen loot at one point. So good.
Yes, and just so to jump in on that, you talked about Sean Connery, and it was described in the script apparently that somebody who looked just like Sean Connery, that's the kind of type of actor they look for. But Sean Connery's agent actually sent him the script, and that's how Sean Connery took the role. They didn't think they were going to get him because they had such a tiny budget.
Look at this. This is him wearing his full armor regalia.
It's a great fight scene with the Minotaur. I mean, it really is. And like Purple said, the Minotaur is evil. It's like carrion, rotten flesh. The fight scene is pretty good, but again, there he is. Look at that. How'd you like to be fighting that goddamn thing that's 10 feet tall?
That is amazing. And the way he shot it, Salty and Purple, he's like looking up at it, so it exaggerates the stature, the height, but it's a big actor doing it with a huge head. Amazing.
And he's losing when we first come across him. He's not winning against this thing.
Yeah. It's only because Kevin kind of falls on him and the monster's like, what the hell? That King Agamemnon gets to live. But it was one of the sadder moments, actually. And, and we talked to, I don't know if we talked about it already in the live stream or not, Gray. Maybe it was just before we went live, is, as an 80s kid growing up with our self-absorbed baby boomer parents, we saw a lot of what Terry Gilliam was putting on screen by Kevin, the boy's character's parents. They didn't pay attention to him. He was excited to learn about things, about history. He wanted to talk about things. And his parents were sitting on their plastic wrapped furniture, watching game shows, trying to win fabulous prizes, and always talking about like, I want this on, I want that, I want this on a commercial. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it sounds crazy, and I'm not going boo-hoo, but you had to have been there in the 80s and 81. But to have this masculine, hyper-masculine archetype of this noble warrior like King Agamemnon, played by Sean Connery, that's what a lot of us boys wanted, And I don't know.
Yeah, and they established that very early on in the film when Kevin's talking about Greek warriors and he's trying to get his parents interested, and they just kind of blow him off and they're not listening to what he's saying. And you could see the sadness in him because he really does yearn to know more about these characters, and he sees Agamemnon as a hero.
That really got to me. That really moved me, as I say, when I first watched it, because I was just quite young watching it, and to see the scene where Kevin he falls, he falls for Sean's character, for the King Agamemnon, because so what he was saying, he's come from parents who were ignoring him, just like whatever, and this guy treats him with respect and says, you helped me defeat the Minotaur. I say Minotaur, by the way, Minotaur, Minotaur. Hey, what's going on?
Whatever.
But anyway,
you say tomato, I say Taika Waititi.
Take a white titty? Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I'll take two. I prefer a matching pair, if that's okay.
That's a definite swear word around here, especially in regards to Time Bandits.
So, guys, and this is a theoretical question. Why do you think that Terry Gilliam was able to get so many kind of, as we say, big names for this movie? Do you think it was down to the script or down to his connections? He's grown up with the Monty Python team.
What do you think, Purple?
I would imagine it was a little bit of both. I mean, if I was an actor and I was, given the chance to work on a Terry Gilliam, it was one, it's going to be a fun environment to be on because it's so different to anything else out there. And two, I think there's a lot of respect for the Monty Python crew.
Me too. Go for it, Salty.
No, I was going to say, I'm trying to put things in context of it being 1980 or 79, probably when this was pitched and cast. Because if it was released in 81, you got to settle this stuff up. First of all, look who's financing this. George Harrison of the Beatles. Okay? The Beatles were, they're a household name now, but back in the late 70s, early 80s, they were everything. They were music. Elvis had just died, but everybody knew the Beatles. We were going through disco. That was a thing. You don't know what we lived through as Gen X, but seriously, God,
you don't. You have no idea.
We had to watch baby boomer parents out there doing the hustle. It's just fuck it. But we're stoic. We don't complain. We got these goddamn Gen Z. You misgendered me. I'm a deer person. Fuck off. You didn't have to endure Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night Fever and John Travolta and disco. Anyway, my point with that is I think it was George Harrison, but I also think that it was Terry Gilliam. And I think that it was so cutting edge what Monty Python was doing. They were really still in their prime at that time. And I don't believe any of the Python movies had really come out yet. Like Life of Brian and the Holy Grail. I don't think they came out yet. Or if they did, they might have just come out. But it was so avant-garde and so weird. Why not? Why not? Hollywood was taking chances then. They were making high concept fantasy movies. They did Tron. Star Wars had just come out in 77. Empire Strikes Back came out in 80. Why not? People were taking chances.
Do you think perhaps that also because it was such in regards to the budget low, comparing to everything else, that they were like, you know what, we'll just give it a go. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. In The Fad That Shouldn't Be says Sean Connery, of course, being a Scotsman, or is he Welsh? He was a fan of Monty Python and Terry Gilliam's.
Scottish. Sean Connery, very Scottish, Salty.
If it's not Scottish, it's crap. Where's that 70s rock fan? We need to have him say shit.
Guys, shout out to Zombie Box Review. Speaking of, I think Scotland or the UK at least. Anyway, great to see you, mate. Hope you're good.
Cheers. Great to see you, man. Yeah, this movie, it's the hero's journey. It's the hero's journey through the eyes of an 11-year-old boy and him having to grow. But there's also hero journey arcs for all of the dwarves and the different characters. There's one who only wants gold and has to kind of grow beyond that and see that there's more to life. And in the end, they get caught for stealing something from essentially the supreme being. And it's just, it's absurdist, but there's a very clear hero's journey. There's right and there's wrong. There's a moral to be learned. In the ending, they would consider to be highly problematic right now because, again, the Gen X 11-year-old boy, his parents, I'll just say something unfortunate happens because if you haven't seen this movie, please go see this movie. Okay, thank you. 75.
Yes.
I did not know. I thought it was later. So
no, I didn't either.
If the Grail would have been out in 75, people knew that this shit was going to be funny. So of course they're going to work with Gilliam on a solo project. But my point with all that is, at the ending of this movie would be highly problematic. They would never want any child born now or millennials to watch this movie, because it was really showing that you as a child are not a victim. You as a child are responsible for yourself. And not only that, but you as a child, if you're smart and you're good and you have meritocracy and you're brave and you don't need a support system full of trans activists, you can actually accomplish really remarkable things. And this is the most dangerous archetype because it's a young boy. You know, Hollywood would never make this now. And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to make a video about it, but Taika Waititi is doing this as a 10-episode miniseries for Apple TV, and it's exactly what you don't want it to be.
Sorry,
Well
Purple.
played.
Go for it.
I can't just pretend it doesn't exist, because we looked it up before the show and I got sad and I'm like, I can't do this. I want to talk about the real thing. So
Yes. Yeah, it's almost like he's gone out of his way to make the antithesis of what this film is, and you don't want that in your life. Watch this film because it really is a good film. And Salty was saying, you know, he hasn't seen it in about 20 years, and it's pretty much the same for me, but it's still fresh, it still works, and the ending, a lot of people have debated on what it actually means, and people have put forward kind of different theories, but I think it's kind of straightforward.
Okay, just doing that. Blair de Blair, shout out to Blair de Blair in the chat. Mate, if you want to drop in for a chat, go for it, because he said it's one of his favourite all-time movies.
Yeah. What was your favorite? What was your favorite part of this, Gray? Or what? You know, what was your favorite part, and what do you think was the most bonkers, to use your Grayism? What was the most bonkers scene in this film for you?
My God, how can you just choose one? It's unbelievable. Like, bonkers, yeah, I love that word. It can mean many different things, can't it, Purple? But yeah, in the sense of, like, you know, crazy, funny, foolish. The opening scene where you see the kid's bedroom, not the knight coming out of his cupboard, his closet, but when the time bandits come out and he's backing away and he hits the wall in his bedroom, and the wall moves backwards and it keeps moving backwards. It's getting smaller and smaller. Finding like a portal in your bedroom. Yeah.
That's what every 80s kid wanted, though. That's what we wanted.
Exactly. Exactly, mate. Purple, how about you, or Salty? Can you pick one or a couple of your favourite weird, bonkers, Gilliam-esque scenes?
I still think the weirdest scene for me is the giant, when he just rises up out of the ocean. Yeah. And it doesn't go anywhere because they then have to deal with this giant in a kind of inventive way, I guess. But that's it. You just see this giant and he's just kind of a means to an end to get them from one place to another. It's just so freaking weird.
For me, it's kind of what you would call the final battle, when Kevin is being chased by those big cattle skull, hook arm, you know, bad proto Nazgul, as I like to call them. It's genuinely scary. Like, I'm watching this and I'm obviously, you know, not 11, but it was like, could you imagine them doing something like this in a kids movie? And I was reminded of the scene on the Watchtower of Amun-Sul that they have in the Fellowship of the Rings, because it's like, there's a hell of a lot of Nazgul in what Gilliam did in 81. And then it goes to this final battle where all of these different heroic archetypes from throughout time and space come to challenge ultimate evil. And there's death, and the bad guys kind of lose, and then there's kind of a Hail Mary, and it's a great ending. It's a great ending. So, yeah.
It is. Just again, that this scene, the way he shoots things, you know, to get the full impact of this giant who's stepped out of the sea with the boat, the ship on his head. And Gilliam loves this. I've seen this in quite a few of his movies, you know, where he's shooting crazy giant scenes, and always from below. Purple, what do you reckon?
Yes, he does. He's a great use of camera angles. But the other thing he does in the animations that he does for Monty Python, he's got the little people bickering back and forth in the house. And it doesn't go well for them.
Yeah.
So good. Guys, shout out to Keely as well. Keely Chow's in the chat.
Hey,
good to see you.
Hey.
What's going on? We're talking Time Bandits. If you haven't seen it, mate, I really recommend it. It's a fantastic movie. So much fun. You'll be in it within the first few minutes. You'll be pulled right in.
Go ahead, Purple.
I was just going to ask, do you think that this is one of those kind of forgotten 80s films? Because not a lot of people talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, so this could be a whole other show. What would you consider to be B tier fantasy from the 80s? And to me, this would be B tier fantasy. I think you could put this movie with
yeah.
Lady Hawk, and arguably Beastmaster and Krull and things like that.
All great movies, Salty, aren't they? All great
Doesn't make them
movies.
bad movies. It just means
Yeah.
the production value is not here.
That's
It's
it.
here, but it's all about the story, and that's what's engaging. This is kind of some of the graphic stuff that you're seeing in a kids movie at the end.
Look at
there's
this.
like the
That's a
bad
great
guys
shot.
lose, and that's the takeaway from this, man, is if you are not good enough, if you don't try hard enough, you're going to lose. And sometimes if you are all those things, sometimes you still lose. It's a lesson that's entirely missing, not just from children's films, but from our films for adults now. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Yes, and there's also a scene where one of our lead characters actually accidentally does harm to another of the lead characters,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, he didn't mean to do it, but it still happened.
Look at this.
Hey,
Sexy
let's give a
beard.
big welcome to, as Roman always says, my favourite wizard out there, Blair to Blair. How are you doing?
I'm here.
Yay!
Thank you for coming so last minute. I appreciate it, mate. I didn't know this was one of your favourite movies.
This is one of the all-time best fantasy sci-fi movies ever made. I discovered it when it was on video, because this would never play in a theater around me. So I just watched the hell out of this, nonstop. And when I was a kid, anytime I came into a building or a room that didn't have a window or a power socket, like a regular flat, wall, I would try to push on it just to see if it would give. Because I was hoping I would find.
I know, man. I get what you mean. It's like me looking in the wardrobes, trying to find the doorway into Narnia when I was a kid.
Exactly. And it was so cool because it was so British, but it wasn't. It wasn't Monty Python, but it was almost. And some of those guys were in it.
Yes.
And part of it, and then of course Sean Connery. This came out about the same time Outland did.
Oh.
And I was a fan of that too.
That's a great Sean Connery, little known maybe, or not as well known as it should be. Sean Connery sci-fi movie.
Remedies did a good video about it. It had that. It was like Aliens, or had that lived-in feel of space because it was a mining colony, and it looked like a mining colony. It wasn't clean. It looked like kind of place where people had lived in, and that was like a really magical time. That very early '80s. Hey, Shield Wall. Sci-fi was just great back then.
Are you a fan of Gilliam's movies generally? Because I'm a big fan. I
Brazil.
don't know many. Has he lost his quality recently? But yeah, Brazil, Fisher King, of course.
That was a really good one in the '90s.
Yeah.
Super late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Unlike all the other movies, it was real. It was like
Yes.
It had a touch of fantasy.
Yeah.
But that touch was in the guy's head.
Fisher King was incredible, and Jeff Bridges was absolutely incredible as the shock jock. And then watching what happens to Robin Williams, like you're saying, you're used to seeing him be Robin Williams. He's a tragic man and he plays the tragedy of that in this comedic way. I remember one time he brought down Jeff Bridges to the basement where he's squatting and is offering him cookies, and he says, I don't know if these are raisins or rat shit in the cookies. And it's just like, it's a genius movie. It really is.
And amazing performances by both, as you said, Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams. They are incredible in that film, in Fisher King. Like, the acting, I think, is really, really good. It maybe gets overlooked because of its fantasy-esque, themes.
Yeah, so I thought a couple of Gillingham's films had that. I liked his Brothers Grimm, but that one got panned as being terrible. But I thought it was kind of interesting. I think Dr. Parnassus had an interesting idea, but obviously with the loss of Heath Ledger, he had to then change how the film went.
Yeah, that was a shame. Yeah.
Didn't he do Baron Munchausen?
Yes, in '89.
Yeah, that was
one of the hottest scenes ever, with Uma Thurman coming out of a giant clamshell covered in seaweed. See that movie?
It's a fantastic movie, isn't it, Blair? We were talking about it earlier. Yeah. It's a shame because it bombed at the box office because it had a huge budget.
a lot of people don't know about it because it bombs hard. Then we find it, it's like, why doesn't everybody know about this movie? It's incredible.
And when you watch it, you go, why didn't people love it? That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Because it's actually genius. It just was, I think it was the competition. Look at the box office for 89. It was up against Batman. It was up against, what was the science fiction one underwater?
Abyss?
The Abyss was out that year.
Crusade?
Yes.
Indiana Jones?
Yep. Sex, Lies, and Videotapes by David Cronenberg came out that year. Fantastic movie if you haven't seen that. But 89 was an exceptionally good year for cinema. It really was. So, who had time with Batman and all the other stuff going on to, I guess, go see this crazy movie he put out. But it's genius.
Yeah.
It's absolutely genius.
Yeah, and there was a lot of comedies out in 89 as well. Things like Uncle Buck, See No Evil, Look Who's Talking, all of those.
UHF?
UHF, yeah. I love UHF.
That is such a great movie.
It was. But they released it in the summer against all those blockbusters, and it got buried so hard.
Exactly.
But this movie has that little whimsy and magic to it.
But Blair, we already answered this question, but what do you think is the trippiest scene or the trippiest part of this movie for you, or what lasts with you? Because you and I are like about the same age, and we probably saw it about the same time. Like, what for you stuck with you?
When they go to the land of magic or myths, the giant wearing the ship.
Yep.
That was cool. But then when he breaks the glass, and they go into the evil lair, with all staircases and dark and cages, and and that when they do the little game show thing, they're all running around, they're getting the most fantastic prize in the universe, and then it turns out, psych, it's the devil, evil.
It's David Warner is playing a game show host. And what's crazy, and I pointed this out to Purple, was the game show host is a young version of Professor, he was in the last two Harry Potter movies.
Yes, Slug, wasn't it?
Professor Slugworth.
Yes,
the same actor. Is this very young game show host, Jim Broadbent, a young Jim Broadbent in 81. It's just everybody was in this movie. It's trippy how that is.
Yeah, you had like all the British people in it, they really reached out to people. And Shelley Duvall was in it in a scene. She's a princess.
It's true.
A nanosecond. Remember
it's like 3 or 4 times through time and space, her with Michael Palin trying to get it on in one form or another, and then in one of them Michael Palin, it's just, I'm not going to ruin the gags, but it's just it's Monty Python-esque,
exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting comment here from Jamin D. The soundtrack still takes me back to my childhood every time I hear it. Now I was trying to remember, because I've watched it, kind of rushed it last night, this morning. What was the soundtrack like, guys? What do you think about it?
Well, the titles are really cool. It was a very early 80s high-tech, high-concept. And you remember seeing that, right, Blair, man? Like, when you saw that as a kid, you're like, oh, my God, this is so high-tech. And now we look at it, and it's like, that's like graph paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We try and share
but it had the early 80s synth thing to start with a little bit. Yeah, there's the grid. But it also had
George Harrison
stuff. Yeah, George Harrison.
Theme song.
Yes, he did. Exactly.
And he was one of the producers. Handmaid's Tale was his film producer.
Yeah. But the soundtrack. A lot of these movies, you could just. It was something about. Again, maybe it was being 11 and watching this, but it's so familiar. Yeah. And the other thing with this movie is the pacing. The pacing, no scenes are wasted, but also the timing of the actors is phenomenal. It just, I don't know. I can't say enough about this movie. I really can't.
That early synth. Oh, man, says Jamin. Yeah, gotcha. Zombie Box. David Warner oozing malevolence in his role, which he loved. It looked like he was having a great time.
He played the best bad guy. He was in Tron around this time.
82. I talked about that. Yeah, he was in
Somewhere in Time. He played the Jack Ripper guy.
That's right.
Yes, before this a little bit.
Christopher Reeves. Yeah, I was in the stage play of that. So yeah, I played
his character. What was it? Somewhere in Time was the Chris Reeve. What about the other one? He's the time traveler with Malcolm McDowell.
Was it the Sherlock Holmes one? There's a Sherlock Holmes one with time traveling. No.
So Malcolm McDowell played H.G. Wells.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Malcolm,
Google.
do it. Time after time, and then that's it. Time after time.
Time
I get-
after time. There
That
you
came
go.
out
Thanks,
Okay,
just
that's the
before
one.
this.
Casey
Yep.
Charlie. Thanks, man.
So yeah, he was
that's-
like all over the
that's a good
place.
movie. That was a good movie.
He
And
was
then
a
of
bad
course he
guy.
was in Star Trek and all kinds of stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, he was nobody else could have played evil like him did.
no,
Oh, we played an alternative third Doctor in the Big Finish audio productions, Zombie Box.
oh, could you imagine what a great Doctor he could have been though?
Oh my
Yes.
God.
See,
That-
Warner could have, like, instead of Jodie Whittaker.
Oh my God.
Imagine but he could have been like an alternate timeline War Doctor almost of. But anyway, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Now it's just shit.
Yeah.
It's not Doctor Who. It's shit, and it's not going to stop being shit. So yeah. Sorry.
Purple Valkyrie. Speaking of Doctor Who, when is the new special meant to be out? Because I have no idea.
I
Is it New
don't.
Year?
To be honest, it's probably New Year. They used to,
Okay.
back when people used to watch it, they'd put it on Christmas Day because
Yeah.
that makes sense. You'd sit down with the family after Christmas dinner and watch it.
Right.
But now they don't care about that sort of thing. So yeah, I would imagine it's Christmas Day.
Yeah, I think it's on Kwanzaa. I think it's when they released it in the UK. Because fuck the BBC.
Oh,
Sorry,
it's
I'm over
salty.
it. Yeah.
No, don't worry, man. You're good. Oh dear. Zombie Box saying he finished his last audio for a Big Finish with Christopher Eccleston. Okay, nice one, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, he just
Right on.
passed away not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yes, he really was a great actor, and for everything I've heard, he seemed to be a really nice guy as well. He's that kind of actor, like Alan Rickman. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him, but he always relished playing the bad guy.
Yeah. I got a new Snape, by the way. That's my 1/6 scale.
Oh, yeah.
my 12-inch
Nice.
Snape over there. So yeah, very that's what I did this Christmas was watched all of the extended versions of both The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and then watched all of the Harry Potter movies. And then it's really kind of hard to go back to taking anything seriously like they're making now. It's like, oh, good scene. Look at that.
He was so funny. He was he wasn't just evil, but he was like kind of witty too. He's like, what was he doing? What would I have done first day? Microprocessors day one. Boom.
Yeah, he's talking about the Supreme Being wasted his time making 27 varieties of parrots.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
you know what I would have done day one? Microprocessors, self-guided missiles. Like, he's talking about all this technology instead of beauty. And it's like, it's true. It's the manifestation of evil, which is the opposite of humanity and nature. So, yeah.
But
I think Gray needs us to vamp.
okay, but just going back, you guys were talking about the music. I've got to admit, I wasn't a fan of the end song by Harrison. I was like, oh.
I can tell it'd be like an earworm for some people, and they would just hate it.
Well, you could tell that he was still giving his money the Bhagwan Rijnajneesh, like giving all that, like smoking a lot of dope, you know what I mean? And like still doing the Hare Krishna,
Really?
Hare Krishna, you know what I mean?
A lot of bells and
He was
chimes
into
going
the
yeah.
LSD as well, wasn't he? He was into that for a long time. I remember seeing an interview with him, but he said one day he looked at it through a microscope and realised it looked like old rope, so he stopped taking it. Lysergic, whatever acid. Sorry about that.
No, Daniel,
there's crazy scenes going on behind me, guys. I'm gonna stay quiet for a minute. Come on, sorry.
Daniel got a question. He says, "Wasn't he the Doctor in Hellraiser?" And no, he wasn't in those movies.
Okay.
That was another British actor. Hey, 70s.
Hey, dude, I'm gonna. Oh wait, I can't share a link. But Gray, send in a link because I want to have. I
will.
That
Hail 70s. I'll do that right now, Salty. Thanks, man.
It's good.
You
Not
just
to
talked
tell you
about
what
it
to
earlier.
do, please, but I mean, we're all kind of the same place on the odometer, and so our eyes. I mean, all of us here were 11 years old at one point, even though we're old now. There's really no other way to put it. But again, the kid in this movie was us. we wanted to be
exactly.
this kid. We wanted to go off with these crazy, demented, thieving dwarves traveling through time and space and encounter trolls and dragons and giants and get on doomed ships sailing the Atlantic and encounter evil and do battle with crazy things. And again, this is where you were expected as a child to be brave, to be capable, to be smart, you know?
Yeah, and it was fascinating to see because, he is just a little boy and he's kind of starstruck with what's going on, but he's also the moral compass of the film. He's the one constantly telling the dwarves that, what you're doing is wrong, stealing from people is wrong. And when he meets John Cleese's character, he's kind of saying, like, this is what you should be doing. This is how it should be going.
John Cleese.
I love that. But again, I mean, the whole thing with this is, again, as Gen X kids, Blair, we had to put up with the baby boomers who only cared about themselves. And so we had to keep saying, hey, we're here. What about the right thing? And that right thing, in that right thing, we learned from our grandparents, which were the greatest generation of people from the Great Depression. Yep. And so, that's why I've heard other people talk shit about my generation. And it's like, could we have done things better? Yeah, we could have. But at the end of the day, a lot of us stood up to a lot of things. We just didn't wave our dicks in the air going, look at, we're heroes. You
learn to be self-sufficient very young.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were latchkey kids, and...
Bingo. Yeah.
Speaking of heroes, and hey, we could be heroes. Here comes that 70s rock fan.
We could be heroes just
there he
for
is.
One day.
Right on.
Meet the gang because the boys are here.
We've got a very young Sean Connery.
With music and laughter. Sorry. Only a Brit would get that reference.
Happy New Year's Eve, mate. New Year's Eve in Japan. How you doing?
Happy Hogmanay, as they say in Scotland. Happy Hogmanay.
Yes.
What disgusting part of a pig or sheep do you eat on that day?
All the bits that we've not eaten already.
So basically it's twigs and berries in a pie. Wonderful. That sounds great.
And a lot of whiskey.
And a bottle of whiskey.
I can get behind that.
I got a bottle of Wayne Gretzky whiskey today, especially for the hockey show next week. There isn't one tomorrow night, so I'm going to have a hockey themed whiskey, which is good.
Nice.
That sounds
Anyway,
70s. Sorry to interrupt. Have you seen? Come on, of course you've seen Time Bandits. Do you remember it?
Do I remember it? It's one of my
What do you
favorite
think?
movies.
Yay!
And I went to see it in the cinema when it came out. Three times I went to see that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because
That 70s doubled the box office takings.
Yeah, right, really.
Because I'm an enormous Python fan and all the offshoots.
Yeah.
And Time Bandits was right. And of course, Sean Connery is a Greek god. I mean, how much better does it get?
That's what I wanted.
Well,
That's
not
the only
God,
reason
but a
I
Greek
wanted
king.
to bring you on.
A Greek
was
king,
the Connery.
sorry.
Almost
Casey,
as good
thanks,
as
mate.
being a Spaniard in Highlander. Yes.
That's true. Ramir,
my
he
God,
was
yeah.
actually an Egyptian. That's what he said.
Yeah,
His
that's
name
right.
was Spanish, but he said he was an Egyptian.
Yes.
But yeah, Sean Connery as a Greek king, and funny enough, he was playing a good guy. The king was a good guy. Agamemnon was a good guy.
It was his wife he had to be careful of. She was plotting against him, as far as I recall.
No,
and
she was actually that was the impression we were getting. She was actually plotting for the ceremony to make the kid, to adopt the kid. She wasn't plotting against the king. You were meant to look that way and all, but she wasn't. She
Okay.
was off doing the planning for the ceremony where they were going to say, I'm adopting you. You're going to be our son.
Really?
And then, of course, they threw the thing over him and he disappeared, and
Kidnapped.
leaving Sean crying.
Then they went to the Titanic.
Well,
Kevin.
what's crazy is Sean Connery shows back up in this film
As a fireman.
firefighter at the very end. And now there's a bunch of different theories what
And he
that
kind of
means.
winks at him, like he's in on it.
He says, it's a kind of magic. No, that was
But one of the theories, and I happen to like this one, is that Sean Connery has King Agamemnon was smart enough to realize that there was a portal in his kingdom and actually took the portal to find young Kevin because he really did love and want him as a son. And that he actually
possible.
found him and became heroic in that he and Connery were the ones who ended up following the map and going.
That's
from time to
beautiful.
space.
Salty.
that's a great theory, isn't it?
Yes.
You'd want to believe that was true.
I do too. I need to believe that.
Me too. I need
Yep.
that.
You know?
I'm going to believe that from now on. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like that, and it even one of the lines in the film is says he has to carry on the fight. You know, he's the one who has to keep it going. He can't come back with you.
And also, it was one of Sean Connery's best ever wigs, I feel.
It's in the top three,
It's in
definitely.
the top three of rugs, Connery rugs.
I kind of like Zardos, I've got to admit. You know, the long hair.
He had the body rug on.
Yeah.
The body.
Oh,
He also had the knitted
You know, to this
crochet
day,
crotch holder thing.
the over-shoulder
You're talking about
boulder holder.
Zardoz.
To this day, you know,
my
I
God.
don't want to make this all about me, but to this day, that is my most watched live stream ever. Was the Stardust special I did.
Really
Yeah.
love that film.
I saw
this
that. I
day.
saw that. Completely bonkers. Speaking
As
of
well
bonkers
as should
before,
be,
what a movie.
sir.
What a movie.
So you're getting close, Brian, to getting monetized as well. Our man Gray over here just
710 today.
cracked- Yeah.
And rising.
Well,
Rising,
yeah.
baby.
And I'm quite encouraged with the fact I'm getting a lot of views on Rumble and Odyssey too over there
yeah.
with various streams and videos.
Okay.
So it's a bit more hit and miss, but some of them are getting some track. Oh, we lost Blair.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Getting some traction. Yeah, 710. I have a lot of plans this year. I have plans, so I'm gonna set up a proper, get a proper trading name and business account and all that, and
Right on.
got new equipment coming, new chair, new desks, new DSLR, stuff like that. So it's all going to be upgraded. here.
Brandon, the anime guy, got a new mic, an analog mic, and it sounds so rich and nice. We were all like oohing and ahhing on it when he was on Roman's show the other night because it was like so, superior to everything else we have.
No
Nice.
way. Analog. Yeah, it's much better, is it?
It's actually just a megaphone.
Is that the one that
Absolutely.
Amaranth? Is that the one that Amaranth uses to put the horse head over her head and bang
It
it
might
against
be.
the mic? For that
he
AMSR?
might go full AMSR on us. So
It's a zombie box is asking how many watch hours I have. It's over 5,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well
So
done.
I think you
Awesome.
need.
Is it still 4 or did they jump it to 6?
I don't know, but I've got 5,000 plus at the moment.
I think you're covered then. I think you
Yeah,
need
it's still
4,000.
once you
full.
get 1,000 subs, you'll be good.
Yeah, I
then you
mean,
just rock and
1,000.
roll.
I might be a few more months, but I'll get there.
You
And it-
will. I have no doubt.
Yeah, and it's just for me. I'm not doing it for the money. I do it because I enjoy doing this. But the anything I do make out of it will be ploughed back into improving
Yeah.
the product, and then
Exactly,
getting to go to
and-
meetups and stuff, and
Yeah.
and meeting everybody like you guys. Well, I mean, obviously I've met you, so
Yeah, we already met up.
we've
That was
already
a-
met up. Yeah.
Yeah, we already had a pint and commiserated the two old guys.
Point,
And,
a pint or two.
But yeah, to do stuff like that to improve, and on the side, I do have plans to do some video work for a couple of local companies. So
Right on.
Oh, nice.
70s, you've
So
done
just-
Outland, haven't you? Speaking of this comment here, if possible, please
Yeah,
do his
Outland.
Outland movie. You've covered that, haven't you? That's a great kind of
I
space
did-
western.
Did a stream on Outland. That was another very enjoyable
Yeah.
stream. Yeah, we really we got a really good conversation going about that movie. It was a lot of fun. So
Yeah, that came out about the same time as this.
yeah,
He
it
was
was
a
pretty
busy
close,
boy
wasn't
then.
it?
Yeah.
Sean was on a bit of a resurgence at that point.
Yeah.
Starting to get past the dip that he'd had after Bond, and
Yeah.
getting a little older, so he could get more. I don't know, like the elder statesman supporting roles, and just he didn't have to carry like in Time Bandits. Makes a great impression, but he doesn't have to carry the whole movie. So
Yeah.
you're starting to get a lot of parts like that.
Yeah.
70s, a question
distinguished.
for you from Nosferatu in the chat. Has 70s ever cut off another immortal's head and screamed about there only being one?
Well, the New York City Police may have something to say about that, so I'm going to stay quiet about that one.
So that's
But-
a yes.
Really?
That's a yes.
Yeah,
That's
but,
what that is.
It's funny
Nosferatu.
because the phrase I like to quote from that film is the Kurgan one of the. I have something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
with those goddamn all of those
Fancy
swords
words.
around his
Yes.
neck. Yeah. Holy ground,
Holy ground, Highlander. Remember your teaching, Ramirez.
Gray, can we all watch Highlander and come back and do this?
Please.
Because I want to do it with the same
could
group of
just
people
quote
talking about
that.
Highlander all night long, and we can
can
talk
put-
about Queen music and everything.
Oh
my God, it'd be
Princes of the
fantastic.
Universe. Oh,
Oh
God.
my god!
I loved what they did with the video for Princes of the Universe because they had Christopher Lambert in it, and they're on the rooftop, and he's jousting with Freddy, and I thought it was a great video. You know, just the whole thing was just epic. I loved that movie so much, and I have a tiny personal connection to that movie.
Oh.
Highlander.
You tell.
At the end, when he's sitting with the girl on the hillside, and you
Yeah.
see the jets flying overhead, the fighter jets.
Yeah.
They were from my squadron, my RAF
No
squadron.
way!
So I worked on those aircraft.
Cool.
No way!
Yeah.
Dude,
That is
that's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, based at RAF Lossiemouth, and those were Jaguars from RAF Lossiemouth, so it was pretty cool. I went, oh, that's our aircraft, that's us.
That's badass. Dude.
Look.
Yeah, but no, I don't know what Zombie Box Reviews is talking about. There is no Highlander 2.
No, there's only
No.
one Highlander.
there was
I
never
didn't-
a Highlander 2.
I
There
didn't
could be
go
only
see
one.
that. I didn't see that with all my college buddies and then proceed to break shit. No, I didn't. There's only one Highlander.
Yeah, exactly. I never came out of the cinema going, "What the fuck was that?" And can I
Yeah.
have those-
Exactly.
Can I get my money and my life back?
Yeah. There's only one.
To be fair, Michael Ironside was pretty good, but you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't even say that.
if he'd ever been in a movie called Highlander 2, he would have been great.
I can't remember. I can't remember
Hypothetically,
it.
yes.
It would have had an amazing script too. You know, it wouldn't have had to do with climate change and saving the planet and aliens and shit.
Aliens,
And
yeah.
I know we're supposed to be talking about Time Bandits, but Highlander's got such great trivia about it. I mean, funnily enough, at that point, Queen were not as popular in America.
True.
They'd
Very
gone through a
true.
bit of a trough commercially there.
Yep.
And huge in the rest of the world. So in certain parts of the movie, like he's in the bar and in the jukebox, the song that's supposed to be playing is Queen, "One Night of Love is Better Than a Lifetime." You know, in the American version of it, they had the case is just a case, and you know that they had that on
Yeah.
in the back because they didn't think Queen were well known enough or popular enough.
I remember when that movie came out, and I knew Queen from like "We Will Rock You" and things like that, like some of those. But people were like, "Who the hell is this?" I mean, you know, like as a kid, it wasn't iconic. If you would have played like the Bohemian Rhapsody or "We Will Rock You," I'd have got it. But you're right about that, Brian. It's like we didn't know.
So they
you
even
know?
I
took
knew them
bits
from
of Queen
Flash.
music out. Yeah.
I knew him from Flash more than I did almost anything at that point.
They just had not Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You were huge, and then they kind of went into a bit of a trough there. They were still as popular as ever in Britain, but in America it kind of went down until maybe Crazy Little Thing Called Love.
He
Yeah.
cut his hair
And
and
then it
grew
went
the
down
little
again.
mustache, and
Yeah.
all the people were kind of like, "Hey, wait, what's going on here?"
But
Just can't
live-
handle it.
Live Aid. Don't
Yep.
underestimate the effect that Live Aid had
absolutely. Yeah.
on Americans wanting to know more about the Brit wave and the new wave stuff. Now they were popular,
Oh.
they were, but after Live Aid and watching Freddie Mercury and Queen's performance on that changed everything. I think a lot more people got into Queen. Undeniably, you can look at the
It's-
sales. and
Yeah,
the
and I'm not
charting.
saying they weren't well known in America. They just didn't have the same impact as they had in, let's say, Britain or South America. They're huge
Yeah.
in South America.
What the
We
thing
were
with,
playing in front of 300,000 people in Brazil, you know? It was, yeah. They couldn't really do that as much in North America, but
I heard some stories about Freddie and the boys down in Brazil that I won't repeat.
the boys in Brazil.
Not
Salty.
judging, just
The
Salty.
boys in Brazil.
wow.
The boys from Brazil. Is that an old national
That's not a
socialist
Nazi
escaping to
reference.
Argentina? Oh,
Yeah.
Look at Jamin D. Says when the Kurgan jumps in that old lady's car and goes, "Mom."
Yeah,
mom. The
and he's
Kurgan.
driving around, and she's on the hood,
And then
hanging over
oh,
her
that's
life.
right, that's so good. And then when he's in the seedy motel and the guy behind the punk behind the counter tries to talk to him,
Oh, that's so
don't
good.
ever talk to me. It doesn't say again. He just says, don't ever talk
Guys,
to
just
me.
shout out. Zax and the Flashes have finished the 12-hour Lord of the Rings 2 Towers stream. So we might get a raid. We got Krampus Jeebus. Yay!
Yeah, that Clancy Brown is just fucking awesome. Have you ever seen him in the kilt? He wears a kilt sometimes for conferences in the Highlander panels. He wears a kilt, even though he wasn't the Highlander, obviously, but he's got the full Scottish gear on. It's quite neat. He's an imposing guy, big guy.
That's an understatement. That's an understatement.
Do you have a kilt?
I do have a kilt. I've got the full regalia, and I promised some people that if I make 1,000, if I may hit the 1K, I'm going to wear my kilt on the stream.
Dude,
Nice.
I want to buy merch with you in a kilt on it. That's what I want.
I need a Funko Pop.
I want a coffee mug with you in a kilt.
There we go.
I was thinking about that, funnily enough. I actually have got a couple of Bitmojis with me in a kilt. So
I was thinking of those, the little hula girls that you put on your dashboard, but a little 70s in a kilt.
Oh my God.
I want that too!
That sounds awesome.
I can find you a picture if you give me a few minutes. And you know what? Actually, it's a good-looking set of gear. It should. The bloody price it costs to buy them. Not cheap.
It's not cheap, especially
cheap.
sporran, to go with it.
A sporran, you need a sporran,
I thought you were talking about your junk, not the
well, you do keep junk in it, but And you've got your ski and do, which is the little knife that you stick in the top of your socks. And you're legally allowed. That's the only knife you're still legally allowed to carry around in the UK.
Really?
It's cultural.
So I'm going to ask you a very personal question, but do you play the bagpipes? And do you
I do
listen
not.
to bagpipe music? Good.
No,
That's
I do
why
not.
we're friends.
I've never played a bagpipe. I've never strangled a cat or played the bagpipes. Scots have a love-hate relationship with the bagpipes because
I don't know.
The single bagpipes on their own, like you hear it playing for the tourists in Princess Street in Edinburgh, are annoying as hell. But the whole massed pipe band thing is awesome.
You do need more than one, But that one on Princess Street, you can hear all the way down from the top.
But there's one in every corner. There's one in every corner, and they're all the way up the Royal Mile, and it's like, shut that fucking shit.
We're all playing different tunes.
I'm looking for. I'll find a picture. You guys keep talking. I'll find a
It's
picture.
interesting you were talking about the Queen and just jumping back to Highlander. To this date, there's never been a complete soundtrack released, even though it says it was on the credits.
Crazy,
There's clips have never been released, like they're New York.
Yeah.
I want that. See, it's one of them. I mean, that entire rooftop scene where they're doing battle under I think it's the Coca-Cola sign and the sparks and
it's the sun.
neon.
No, isn't it the sun?
Sun oil or
whatever that
Sterling.
something or other. Yeah.
Nothing like that has ever been duplicated, and it's so quintessentially 80s because of the use of neon. I mean, 1981 was the same year that MTV started.
Well, that guy, Russell McKay, was a video director for like Duran Duran and music videos.
It had rotoscoping as well, didn't it?
That was his big first movie.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when MTV started, they had like 6 videos, so that's why they had the VJs to talk. Because they didn't have any content for this network, and you were constantly watching like David Bowie's like China Girl, Oh my God!
Where am I,
buddy? Hey,
Zax, this is for you, man. This is for you.
You should be fresh as a daisy, Zax. You haven't done shit today.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Hopefully,
on Scotty, mate. Well done.
Well done, Zax.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't get into trouble with Mrs. Rock fan, but I do have a picture that I could share with you of me in
Let's
the
have a
regalia.
Let me just bring that up. Here we go. Let me just bring that up. Mrs. Rock fan.
Oh,
nice.
That is awesome.
That's badass.
Wow.
And do you know where this was taken at a wedding we went to in St Andrews at the university, the old university cathedral. There, the old church, and it's from the 12th century. It's a 12th century church, and we were at the wedding in that. It's just incredible, and that's the quadrangle.
That's some great photo.
Tom
Mrs. 70, she's lovely.
Quite.
Seems looking pretty bra there, I think.
Boy, look at this.
Yeah.
70s, an absolute smoke show in his skirt. So
You see, I had a little bit of a beard there too. And that's about 20 years ago now.
Brian, what do you call that medallion hanging in front of the that 70s flagpole?
That's the sporran.
Is that what it's called?
It's a sporran, yes.
Yeah.
It's made from a rat's tail or something hanging on it. I don't know.
Well, I was just wondering,
Really?
is there something imprinted on it? Is it a clan symbol? Not a clan.
Yeah.
Clan symbol.
She was asking, what do you keep in it, Brian? What do you keep in the sporran?
Emergency supplies. A whiskey, a flask with whiskey, usually.
Awesome.
Just the
There's actually
essentials.
I am missing a belt there. I'd actually had a really nice belt that goes with it, and a buckle of the clan. Clan Douglas is my clan, and I had a really beautiful silver buckle, but unfortunately I'd lost it in a move, so I didn't have it on there. And I must get another one. But yeah, you can keep whiskey in the sporran. You can have an ice pack to keep the swelling down. That kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But you get a little pin there at the bottom. That's a clan. Regalia, like say Clan Douglas.
You look really smart, and your wife is
eh?
absolutely beautiful too. That's a great picture.
So it's not bad, In
It's
fact,
not bad, 70s.
Here's another one. This was our
my God.
wedding.
What's going on?
Wow.
Oh my God! Look at this.
That was our wedding, and do you know we're standing in front of St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh on the Royal Mile,
I know where that is.
giving the impression we got married there, but we didn't. We got married at the registry office round the corner, and we walked round and took our photos there. And there was all these tourists there, including Gray, from tons of Japanese tourists. They're all snapping pictures of us because they thought we got married in the cathedral. So
They thought you were celebrities. Celebida.
They were thinking, who is this guy? He's just come out of the cathedral, and you have to be rich and famous.
Sean Connery.
That's so punk rock though. Doing
But
that,
I had the
Brian,
see the
it's
beard
so
there
punk.
is darker at that point. I actually had some ginger in the beard at that point, but I get the little.
It makes awesome one want to marry you, by the way.
look at
There you go.
this.
Really? Well, hey, I'd want to marry myself if I.
Magitech Mags loves it. And great to see you. We've had a raid from
see you, man.
Zax. Zax's stream. Zax, how you feeling,
So
man?
that's enough about me.
Good.
was
I could use a neck rub. Otherwise, I'm pretty good, really. To be honest, it's not that
Ask
bad.
Flaccid. Ask
12
Flaccid. He
hours,
probably
man.
won't
12
stop.
hours.
12 hours. We
Bravo,
had to
dude.
stop because we found out 12 hours. StreamYard cuts you off.
Yes.
So-
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
soda. Oh.
Yeah, that's all you get.
So you can't do a 24-hour stream because some people do those. I don't know. They must start again after 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just jump from one to the other. Yeah.
A 5-minute break or hour break, and then start up.
I mean,
What was the most surprising thing about doing 12 hours straight today, Zax? Like,
it was mostly how it kept refreshing when we would, because you brought different people into the show. It would you get the energy back into it again, and I couldn't do that. I don't know how you would do that without having people come in and bring their energy, and then I suck them dry while they're on the show, and then I toss them out and I bring in someone fresh and I suck them dry, and then they kicked out. And I mean, it's not exactly like that, but it's kind of like it's how you can keep it going is on enthusiasm and new people and fresh energy. Yeah.
I was glad to be part of it. And
You were awesome.
You guys crushed it today. Thanks
It
for
was
the
brilliant,
invite.
man. Good stream. Yeah, well done.
It was awesome having you there, all you guys. So thank you for coming. Purple, thank you for being there, and
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
and Salty for running the show with me behind the scenes, and 70s for coming out, and 70s for that skirt, mostly.
Wait a minute, guys. What's this? What's this? What's this? Blair.
Major
What's
difference.
this?
It's a little younger version of myself.
That's pretty cool.
Oh my
That
God!
is
That's pretty
amazing.
cool.
Check out this picture, ladies and gentlemen. The debut on Wakisashi's Tea House. It's Blair in his full Scottish regalia.
I'm
Do like
totally
to see a
impressed,
man in a
Blair.
kilt.
I'm impressed.
Dude, that's amazing.
It's nice to
Lady
show your
Belfast
legs
is here
off.
That's
too.
awesome.
And people were asking in the chat whether you wear underwear or not. Well, that would be between me and the road.
Yeah.
There's a reason there's a pin in the side. Yes.
I'll say one thing, as Blair will tell you, they're very warm.
They are. And that's like a heavy grade thick wool.
Oh
I
yeah,
have.
it's thick and heavy, and
like
you
hot.
get pretty hot under there. So
Ooh.
I'll leave it
Yeah.
up to your, air conditioning is required.
You do a little walking, but
A little walking.
airflow.
Walking.
But yeah, if I hit 1K and Blair, then you have to come onto the show and you have to wear your kilt too.
I'm in.
Kilts are
Right.
mandatory.
Awesome. We'll have kilts anonymous. and Zach's can come on and he can wear a skirt.
Yeah.
Lady B saying your beard's not quite as great as it is now. Blair. What do you
Yeah,
reckon?
I used to keep it short. My
Yeah.
wife liked it back then, but I like it what way it is now.
I've got beard envy, Blair. I want a beard that long.
Me too. Me too.
Well, I got no hair on the head, so I got to do something here.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean. My head's upside down.
Exactly.
I was tugging something too hard one day, and it's just,
Oh, I thought you went blind from doing that.
Uh,
Never mind.
I thought we were supposed to be talking
Zach's-
about Time Bandits.
I was going to say,
yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Zach.
Zach,
Yes.
what's your favorite scene in Time Bandits? You've obviously seen this movie. What is the best part of Time Bandits, Zach?
I like the one with the midgets.
Yeah.
That was the best part.
Is there any particular part of the midgets that you like?
Persons of restricted growth. Thank you.
From
Come
the
on,
waist
Zach.
up.
You like this one the best. Look at this.
the
This is
waist
the
up.
best scene.
Oh yeah, that was so
Oh.
weird.
Oh yeah, look at that. Can you
The
can you put
Minotaur,
the head a
the
little bit?
Minotaur.
I think it might move a bit, just a little bit. You know? Like you can almost peek. You know?
It's
But
not,
not
an
quite.
inflatable doll.
I don't know.
This is a new Zach I haven't seen before. It's after 12 hours of live streaming with flaccid phoenixes.
That's right. It's what it
Just
is.
a little bit punch drunk.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, punch chunk. That's what you get for sure. And this lovely Sherry's here.
That's
It-
now
it-
this is when
it-
you ask the questions and you get the real answers.
Yeah.
In Zach's, Gray got his first super chat tonight from Daniel.
I know, I can't believe it. Daniel, Yorubami, and now Magitech Mags has dropped. Gray has super chats. Oh my god, I can't believe it.
So
It
awesome.
just happened, guys. It just happened. That's why I've got the whiskey out. I picked this
Really
up yesterday. It's a 1 litre bottle from the local supermarket in Japan. I couldn't believe it.
1
Wild
litre.
turkey. Wild
Sláinte.
turkey. There we go. Slange. Okay. I was going to wrap things up about half an hour ago, but it's just been getting more and more exciting. Are you
know,
guys okay?
right?
Are you guys okay for time? Just let me know if you need to drop. We can like
I'm
wrap things up, or
good.
we can keep going for a
Great.
bit.
Yeah, and Zach's, we were trying to talk Gray into doing the Highlander next because that's 70s and Blair. We just went down the road talking about the Highlander for the last 20 minutes, and it's like I just think it would be fun for all of us to hang
You
out and
went
talk
down
about
the
the
men in
Highlander.
skirts
yeah.
route. This is the whiskey I got today, especially for next week's Bourbon and Boarding. It's the Wayne Gretzky, one of the Wayne Gretzky's.
Oh, hang on a sec. Let's
Oh,
make you
really?
solo. Here we go.
He does more. He does a few, and that's one
Red
of them.
cask.
Yeah.
So it
it's
says
Cana-
red cask.
it's
Is it
Canadian
a
red. That's the
Oh, is it?
casks the whiskey
Okay.
are in. Yeah.
all right?
Is it communist 70s?
Well, it's Canada, so yes.
The red
naturally,
menace. The red
everything is-
cask.
Yeah.
Everything
Did
is
the ca-
socialist here.
Did the
But yeah,
cask
so
have
it's a
black
Gretzky.
shoe polish on it? Did
He
the
does
cask
wine
have
as
black
well. You see, the cheap bastards reusing his wine cat.
That's what I was
wine
gonna say.
barrels.
Yeah.
Cheap bastard. But that's for the. I'll open that next week for the hockey show. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's actually a reasonably priced whiskey, so it's probably pish then. 30
No,
Canadian
Shelby,
dollars.
Shelby, you sounded great to me. I heard
did.
you on the
Shelby, you
Two
sounded
Towers stream.
great.
No
And
worries there.
I'm not a
Oh.
nice person. You sounded great. So yeah.
Shelby, we were fucking with you. That's all it was. It was just that it's a brotherly thing.
It's the
We were just-
flacids and come on and
Yeah,
Zach's. Come
it's
on,
not-
Shelby. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
It gets worse.
We were really
Believe me,
just-
the longer you know
Yeah.
these guys. the
Believe
worse
us, it gets worse.
It means it's love. It means we love you. So
Was the guy in Time Bandits named
How it
Daniel
works.
Rappaport? The head guy?
Yes. The
Head
lead
midget.
Did you
midget.
see the TV show he was on afterwards? It was like a short-lived TV show in America. I think it was CBS. He was kind of like this master inventor guy.
Which show was that? Sorry, Blair?
Driver.
It was before MacGyver.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Rappaport
minute.
was on a TV show, like a very short-lived show, and he played kind of like this master inventor, and him and his like assistant went on like little
Which
crime-solving.
Which actor was that? Sorry,
Daniel
Blair?
Rappaport.
I'm
The main actor?
right,
I'm just going to
okay.
bring up a photo. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. Share this.
'Cause
He was great,
committed
wasn't he, Blair?
suicide.
I think
Yeah.
great performance.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my God!
he really-
I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
he committed suicide. I remember hearing about that. I'm like, God, no. There's
That was my favorite
R2D2.
midget, right there with the hat.
Yep. R2D2's there.
Yeah, Kenny Baker.
I think
Yeah.
comics division's there.
There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, is he?
comics.
Is he the one at the back? 70s.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
I like the
Oh,
one that
you know
gets
what?
eaten.
I'm going to use that picture for a meme for the next division show. Yes.
There you go.
It's
Cancel
easy to
that. This is awesome
deep
when
fake
you're
this. I'm actually probably gonna use this one too. I'm gonna deep fake our faces on it for another Wheel of Time watch. With Victoria. Yeah.
The Dexterian collection time minute, so you can put comics, culture, Nick Visor. Yeah. Anyway.
Got another super chat there, Gray. You're burning it up tonight.
Oh my God! I'm just sharing the link. I'll be 1 second. Here we go. See if Mags wants to drop in for a quick chat.
And
Mags, you take Mags in the chat.
OBG70's in the house too. Just want to shout out my boy, man.
Mike.
OBG, how you doing?
Yeah.
Happy New Year's Eve, mate. Happy New Year's Eve. In Japan, we've got I can't do math anymore. It's 3:31 p.m. What does that mean? 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's
It means it's
12:30
not 2
here.
o'clock yet. It's not 2 o'clock.
Eight and a half hours. 8.5 hours, guys. There it goes.
Let us know what 2023 is like, please, Greg.
Yeah, if it's
will,
bad,
yeah.
I'm going back.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much.
tell
Back.
us
I'm
if it's-
not going in
Yeah,
forward.
don't spoil the surprise. I think I'd like to be disappointed all on my own.
Yeah.
We need
Do
a Time Bandits map, don't we, Salty, to like
Yeah.
jump
Oh,
through
that'd be so
dimensional
great to
doors.
have one of those.
Imagine
I
that.
Yeah.
So I'm testing Gray's knowledge here of Japanese.
Akimashite omedetou.
That's kind of it.
Tomodachi yo?
I think
Is
you're
that
getting it.
Tomodachi? Tomoyo.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, 70s. Akimashite omedetou is Japanese for Happy New Year.
So it's
like-
Happy New Year, my
Brilliant.
friend.
Congratulations for opening Zach's Flaccid.
And you got
That's the way it
another
translates
one.
that.
You have another one for
Really?
Mr. Tickle Trunk, and we were tag teaming each other most of the day in chat, making fun and brilliant comments.
Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you. I thought you were just popping in
Wow.
to leave a like. Thank you so much, man. Oh my God, I can't read this. It's got kanji in it. Oh my God. Kono
So-
something wa utsukushii.
I don't want to make this
Something
about
is
me,
beautiful.
but I'm going to make it about me anyways because
This
Mr. Tickle Trunk,
Zach's is beautiful. That's what it says.
he sent me a super chat at the end of the show and I missed it. So is it okay if I read it here?
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
For $19.99, which is super generous, thank you so much, Mr. Tickle Trunk. The stream has been so smooth. It's been great to be here for almost the entire stream. The three of you guys absolutely crushed it. I'm looking forward to the next 12-hour stream for the Return of the King. This has been so much fun. So thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. And I didn't see that until we had ended the show, and the end was such a rush to get done before StreamYard kicked us out. So I apologize for missing it, but there it is. I'm done.
Okay,
That was
sorry.
awesome.
It's a one-man show here. Great. I do like 20 things at once. Shelby, thank you. We can still say Yoi Otoshio. That's right. Yoi Otoshio is the formal way of saying have a great new year, a good new year. Thank you.
That TV
Wow.
show he was in was called The Wizard. It was only on for one season.
Dude, I remember that show. I remember that
Wizard.
show. Oh my God.
Were you in that, Blair? Come on, this was about you, wasn't it?
No.
You're a wizard, Blair.
Roman says you're the best wizard on the internet.
I come and go as I please. I'm always where I need to be when I want to be there.
Shelby, thank you. That kanji was for monkey, was it? Saru, monkey. Oh, monkey. Sorry. There we go. I need to play a clip, guys. It's the first time to do this, to get for a super chat. I found a Shokusugi ninja clip from the 80s canon movies.
Is that
I'm not sure who the
American
guy in
Ninja?
white was. Enter the
not-
Ninja.
Oh, it's Enter the Ninja.
the Ninja.
I'm
I
sure
need to do a ninja stream, dude. 80s ninja movies.
Oh my
Yes!
God, yeah, Blair. You got to do it.
Yeah. And Gray, I'm sure you won't get copyright claim for using that long of a track of music now. I'm sure
Absolutely.
you won't.
That's a YouTube
Copyright
audio
claim.
library, Salty.
I got.
really?
I'm doing
Yeah.
the Canon stream on Monday, so I've been watching clips of American Ninja all day, trying to pick which ones to.
Oh my God, I love that movie, man.
Yeah, it's hilarious. God, that's so funny. But
Look at the
Enter the
love.
Ninja is that one. Yeah.
Look at the love from Nerdporial Lifeform. Look at everybody who loves you, Gray. I tried to tell you. You're more than just
Is Nerdporial here? Where's Nerdporial? What's going on?
There.
You want me to kick him a link? I can't do that.
Yeah. Oh my God, how do we do that?
I'll send it. Go ahead.
I was on with him with the, us, Gray, we were together on the Star Trek 4.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just like 200 things going on at once. Zombie Box Reviews sent a tip via Stream Elements. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I forgot about that. My super chats weren't showing up here for some bizarre reason. Zombie Box says, it says Andy McCallum. Is that right? 1146. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's great. And yes, we will stream together next year. Definitely. Wow.
There's a lot of great people here on YouTube.
I'm lost.
And a lot of us smaller channels. And what's really cool is finding these people who work hard and then they get better and then they get better and then they're just it's really kind of great. I met everybody here because of a shitty TV show. You know? Right. Everybody. And if I'm grateful for one thing, the second to the last day before the end of 2022, it's getting to hang out with all of you guys. And I have a lot of gratitude for that. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I love you,
Me
man.
too.
Great sentiments, mate. Yeah. Same for everybody, I think.
We should get drunk and fight now.
Yeah. we should.
Can I ask you a big
We'd have to
favor?
fight ourselves.
Purple Valkyrie, is it okay can I ask you to read out Nerdporial's very generous super chat in your sexy voice?
Absolutely. Thank you to Nerdporial. He says he sends a $10 super chat. He says, Gray is monetized. Congrats to the nicest content creator on this side of the YouTube sphere. Watch out for evil toasters and evil demons in the form of David Warner. Once again, you deserve it.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, that is awesome, Purple. Beware, evil toasters, beware. But Nerdporial's the nicest YouTuber out there. Come on, guys.
He's awesome when he gets drunk and watches Wheel of Time. I'm just gonna say
amazing.
But you know what, Corey? Even in the depths of your despair about watching that show and doing videos on it, it was still in a kind of a good-natured way.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's not like we're hate.
No.
The thing about a lot of our channels is, and the conversations we all have is, we kind of like stuff, and we like to talk about stuff we like. And yes, you'll talk about stuff like the Wheel of Time that they ruined, but you still don't do it in this kind of, oh my God, I really hate these people.
No.
It's just kind of mocking.
It's constructive.
It's not rage farming. And the other thing is a lot of people have said it, and I know when I put up with the assholes with PC culture back in college 30 years ago, they will call you names for using logic, but when you ridicule them and make fun of them and use humor, they have no defense. Absolutely none. So, yeah.
Sorry, private conversation with Zax. What are you all drinking, by the way? Coca-Cola, not meth.
Isopropyl alcohol.
Where's me with no clip? I've got to do it one more time. Ooh, look at that. That's amazing, Salty. I'm jealous. A nice IPA. Voodoo Ranger. Okay.
Nice.
This is what we should be drinking. This is
I
what.
must have some booze. I demand to have some booze. I wouldn't drink that if I asked you. Why not? Because I don't advise it. Even the wankers on the site wouldn't drink that. That's worse than meth. Nonsense. This is a far superior drink to meths.
With Neil and I. What a movie. We must do a stream on that one day.
I have to watch that.
Good night, Lady B.
Down. Oh, you gone? Good night.
Oh.
Wow. Guys, sorry, I'm just kind of overwhelmed by what's going on. Overwhelmed by the love. It's turning into a love shack. A love shack.
No, what we'll have to do is talk about like having somebody back end where you can just run the show and somebody else but somebody else handles the chat.
Wouldn't we all like
fabulous,
Back door?
A back
door, man.
You
Someone to
spent
manage
too
your
long,
back door.
too long with the flasses. No back door. No.
Okay.
But that would be nice to have a producer, wouldn't it?
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
What-
imagine, Salty. Zax.
When Salty's on, it helps a ton. Like, it's really.
Yeah, I get Darius helps me a lot. Darius Munchausen on my streams. He does a lot of that, but he does it all for the love of me. He doesn't get paid.
I don't know what Awesome's talking about. Awesome, tell me more. Was that
Yeah, sorry, I missed that. Salty never ages. He's a classy man who wears bloody rags on his head. I remember that one when he had a bandage on Salty.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
blood all
I'm
over.
gonna no. We're gonna do that again with Snowdub. I don't like to wear out my welcome, but I also kind of want to build up. You know, I want him to work for it a little bit. You know, I don't want to keep giving it up on the first date with Snowdub. So we're gonna do something like that again real soon. But Snowdub and Floral and Snacks and Comics and T-shirt historian, it's so much fun to work with those guys. It really is.
I think I'm going to be on the show on Saturday, Floral's show, whatever show it is. I can't remember what time it starts. I think
An
I'm
amazingly
supposed to be on that.
talented guy.
Yeah.
Amazingly talented.
Looking forward to
guy.
that.
Steve's a good guy.
Steve is here. Steve, you've got the link, mate. If you want to jump in, it's in the moving picture house.
Yeah,
Chat.
we're just hanging out. We were talking about
chilling.
Time Bandits. Have you seen Time Bandits, Steve? And then we were talking about the Highlander. But here's a question: as long as we're all hanging out, in the year 1981 and 1982, a shitload of movies came out.
Yeah.
Should I pull up a list of them and we just kind of judge them and say what we think our favorite is? 'Cause then
Caliber
we can,
Conan.
like- yeah, well, I'll let
Yes.
me do this then. I'll
Yes.
be right back. And I'm gonna get another
1981.
beer.
Think about that. It's like you're talking
I-
41 years ago, almost 42.
Hey, Jay,
Yes, I was in. I was 11. I was 11.
I was 8 or 9, maybe.
me too, 11, 12.
See, yeah, I knew Blair. And
No
then,
comment.
No, in that 70s. No, but that 70s was like 35. So it's
You
fine.
weren't born yet then, Purple. 70s, what do you say to that? What's your riposte?
How old was I when Time Bandits came out?
81. You were...
I was actually I was still a teenager, I think. I was in the military though by then. 81? Yeah, I was about 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But there were so many good movies in that era. And I know it's the old person speak. Oh, things were much better than those.
No,
but I went to the cinema 4 or 5 times a week.
I
then.
saw the same movie 4 or 5 times,
Yeah.
and I did my paper route and shoveled snow. And you guys know what came out in 1981?
Go for it.
Indiana Jones.
No
Indiana
way!
Jones,
81.
and
I thought it was 82. Brilliant.
Raiders
So
of the
Temple
Lost
of Doom?
Ark.
Raiders
No,
of
the
the Lost
original.
Ark.
Or Raiders.
of the Lost Ark.
Raiders, okay.
Arguably the best movie ever. Arguably.
It is.
Arguably.
That soundtrack, I remember my brother saved up money from his paper route to get it on CD. It was the very first CD that he bought was Raiders of the Lost Ark. 41 years ago.
Oh, Blade
How
Runner, this thing.
insane is that?
Yeah, 82 for Blade Runner and Thing and Conan and God knows how many. But 81, Salty. Yeah, it was a great year. Is it just us looking back with rose-tinted glasses, nostalgia glasses?
No.
The 80s were awesome for movies, weren't they?
They
These
were, and I'm sharing a
fantastic.
good link. Yeah. Take
Oh,
that
okay,
link.
nice one. Here we go. Add to the stream.
So Indiana Jones came out, obviously, and the boat, Das Boot.
That's
I
Great stuff.
Great
Look what
German
else
war
came out.
movie.
the first Evil Dead
Evil
movie. My
Dead
God.
came out. I'll be
Oh my
right back.
God! Ah, Jesus!
almighty.
What a year!
That's a great film.
I am Daniel. I'm older than a lot of people. Even Salty. So what else?
Indeed,
So,
Purple is
81.
frozen
Wait a minute.
in
So,
amber.
Sax, were you born in 81? You
Yeah.
weren't born yet, were you? You're very
Yeah.
young.
Yeah. Not that young. No, I was born.
I wish.
Yeah, Purple's encased in amber. She'll never age.
I think that's alcohol, but yeah, close.
21 and a half or someone. Yeah,
Preservative
purple.
fluid, yeah.
Did I just hear somebody say that Purple Valkyrie was a mosquito they're going to use to clone dinosaurs? Is that what that was?
That's right. She's encased in amber.
I'd watch
They also
the hell out
used
of
that in
film.
Fringe. They used that in the show Fringe as well.
Oh, the Road Warrior.
Look at these movies
Road
that
Warrior.
came out.
New York.
Escape
Oh my
from
God.
New York.
Look
One of my
at this.
5
Oh, that
favorite
would be a
films of
great
all
film.
time.
It says
Aren't
Mad
they
Max 2 on the
remaking
poster,
Escape from
but
New York now too.
But
Oh
if
yeah,
they,
I
if,
did a video on that. I did a video on the remake of that.
if they
but,
actually said to you, you can only ever watch the movies from one year again, no other movies from any other year, you could pick 1981 and you'd still do pretty
Yeah.
well.
you
You
do
would.
very well. Yeah.
yeah, you got
American
Mad Max, the
Werewolf in
Road
London.
Warrior. Yeah, you got. Look at that. You've got American Werewolf in London.
Oh
the
my
Fox and
God,
the Hound.
American Werewolf.
I saw the Fox and the Hound in the movie theater with my
I
grandma.
thought that was a much older film.
I did
realised
Salty,
that
and
was
my
so
mum
long.
fell asleep, and I was like, "Wake up, mum!" You know, when trying to watch it together with her, like
Yeah.
she kept falling asleep. So
I
warm.
still have not seen an American Werewolf in London. Is it any good?
Oh my God!
Really?
Great film.
on,
It's so
man.
good.
All right,
Shelby,
somebody watch
Excalibur.
it with me.
Classic.
Oh my God, Zax! I know you're not there, but Excalibur was out. I've forgotten in '81 as well.
Another absolute classic.
Oh.
I got the Blu-ray of that recently.
The best.
Yeah.
Excalibur is probably my favorite movie from that year. I know lots came out, but it's so good and it still holds up. We just watched it.
Yeah,
Great movie.
great watch party on Zax's channel.
Yeah, I was on that one. That was great.
To think that John Boorman also made Zardoz, so yeah.
And Exorcist too.
Does anybody else feel this way about the Bond movies from the 80s, that at the time, Roger Moore was kind of a disappointment and it was super campy? And this movie in particular, I thought was really dumb and slow. But now, going back and not having watched Roger Moore for decades,
Yeah.
I love him.
It's aged well,
There's-
Solly. It's
there's
aged
a-
really well.
There's a case to be made that, which I could agree with, that this is the best Roger Moore Bond movie.
Yeah.
It's the least. He doesn't have a big, super huge villain within a volcano.
No.
And he's
Yeah.
he's the one where he kicks the car off the
Yep.
off the cliff
Yeah.
and whatever, and he's actually quite tough in it.
And there's
Hard.
a lot of underwater stuff in this one, and then they go up the side of the mountain with the bad guy who eats pistachios. It's a pretty tight.
Yeah, it's one of the best. It's kind of more of an actual spy thing than a saving the world thing, you know.
Yeah.
Do you remember HBO back in the day?
Oh, dude, totally, man. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I remember that coming out.
Oh my
on
God, yes.
there. Dude.
This is where I saw a lot of these things. If it wasn't on video, I would watch it on HBO because I lived in a podunk town that didn't have really great theaters. So a lot of the stuff I couldn't go to. So HBO is where I saw, and this was always on HBO that month.
Really?
So,
I remember watching HBO where we didn't pay for it, but late at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, when my parents were at bed, I could tune in the cable box so I could see just enough TNA to make it worth staying up. And it was always doot, 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 doot,
Well,
doot
yeah,
on the
at
screen,
the end
but
it
you
would
could
be all
see
fuzzy and
TNA.
blurry, but you could see
Yeah,
the movie.
but it was still boobs. You could still see boobs. It was worth it. You know what I mean?
I was right there. I was right there with you. So
Dude, we were all there.
yeah.
we did that with the Porn Channel Playboy.
You got another super chat, this time for Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Oh my God, I'm just
I'm sorry,
just
I'm
tabbing
trying to
about that,
produce.
Solly.
I'm
No
trying
way,
to help
no,
you.
it's good.
Chariots of Fire has got that
right.
fantastic soundtrack by Vangelis.
Jealous.
I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
Mr. Tickle Trunk said the Great Muppet Caper as well, 81. We've had some great ones.
Yeah.
The Howling, Shelby said The Howling was out. Of course, Werewolf in London, we got that. Did I miss
Time
anybody?
Bandits, there it is.
Yeah, Vangelis also did Blade Runner.
Yeah.
He also did The Mission, just some amazing themes from these
Yeah, he's
80s
great.
movies. Look what else came out.
I like his prog
Stripes.
output from Aphrodite's Child era, early Vangelis. Brilliant
Yep.
stuff. Love
Yep.
it.
Stripes, one of the coolest movies where Bill Murray wasn't trying quite so hard. Ivan Reitman was in this. It's a great story. You had a young John Candy playing.
Yes, Salty.
was it
I just
Bull or
rewatched it.
Moose?
Yeah.
And he's like mud wrestling with strippers.
It's
like,
so
this is
good.
You got two SCTV guys there, John Candy and Harold Ramis. Yeah.
Roger
After
that.
watching Nerdporial's stream on planes, trains, and automobiles, he sent me off on a John Candy deep dive, and I was like, Stripes, man, I forgot he was even in that. And it's such a good movie. It's funny as fuck. It's crazy.
In
I love
Purple
his
Valkyrie.
I love him in
Purple
Home
Valkyrie is
Alone
a-
as the polka player, or the polka band.
Oh, and
In
Home
Purple
Alone.
Valkyrie is a huge John Candy fan. Huge.
I am, yes. Love Trains, Planes and Automobiles and Uncle Buck. I watch that every year.
Yeah, that's
Uncle
a
Buck
good
is one of my favourite John Candy movies.
Because John Candy did the whole Schmingy Brothers polka thing
Oh yeah.
for years. He had an album and everything. It was,
But he was in Home Alone as a poker
yeah,
player
no
as
shit,
well.
because
because that was one of his shticks, doing polka stuff. Him and one of the other SCTV guys, like Joe Flaherty, they did a whole series of sketches as the Schmengi Brothers. But the thing was, they actually played. They didn't do it ironically. They were actually. It was real polka. The joke was it was like almost real. You know, they didn't just like ironic, but they did like rock stuff with polka.
Guys, can I ask
ask-
a quick favour, Salty? Can I ask you a favour? Could you please read out Mr. Tickle Trunk's awesome
Lord.
super chat for $5?
Yes, I can. I want to say hail to Mr. Tickle Trunk. You and I have been tag teaming in chats all day. You're the man, and you get my weird humor sometimes. This is for five Canadian loonies. Says, so glad Wakazashi's Tea House has already discovered what streaming is about. Get people on to entertain while you look through the chat. Pro already. Exactly, dude. That's what it is. Mr. Tickle Trunk's got it dialed in. I want to ask Zach a question, though.
Yeah.
John Candy, I've heard the Scottish Canadians take on this, but what do you see? How do you see John Candy from Manitoba? What do they think about him in Manitoba?
He's beloved here like he is everywhere else. He's an icon, and he was above all, he was actually funny as a comedian, which we don't have much of anymore. And Canada at one point was an export of great comedians, and that tap has kind of run dry. It seems like, at least from what I can tell. I don't know if that has to do with the Trudeau or not, but it has. But we used to be constantly supplying comedians to the Americans as an export, and now we've lost that. But he was one of the best. One of the best.
Well, wasn't Aykroyd? You had Aykroyd, Mike Myers, the entire effing cast, the entire
CTV.
cast of the Kids in the Hall, which to me is genius. The Kids in the Hall. I watched it talk about HBO. It came on like every Saturday or Friday night. Absolute genius, just absolute. And I actually saw the Kids in the Hall live twice when they went on the reunion tour, and love those guys. So
I've never seen Kids in the Hall.
Really?
I'll have to
Well,
watch it
we
with
have
you,
to
Purple.
fix that.
Yeah, we do.
Purple.
We need to live stream that. It's fucking genius.
They were pushing boundaries that it would be shocking today. Like, they would not be allowed to. Well, maybe they would. I don't know, because they do it in a way that is somehow acceptably Canadian. It's like it's
true.
Inoffensively offensive. So
Yes,
it's hilarious. Some of their stuff, they just take it so far, and if you're okay with seeing flaccid
Dewey Oxberger. Shield Wall, great comment, mate. Great comment.
What else do we got for 81? Gallipoli.
Gallipoli.
That was
Oh my God, it's a
hard
great
movie to
Australian
watch.
movie. Great.
It's a hard
Mel
movie
Gibson.
to watch. Yeah.
Yep.
On Golden Pond, with that
Gallipoli,
bitch,
They won
with
all the
that
Oscars.
that commie bitch Jane Fonda is in that movie.
Halloween 2. No
there
way.
it is. Body Heat.
Should have called it Ungolden Showers. That probably would have been a better
Should have called it for the Viet Cong. That fucking
that's right.
traitorous bitch.
Kathleen Turner's nipples, salty.
That's
Body
what
Heat.
I'm talking about.
That's
Kathleen
what I'm
Turner's
talking about.
nipples. That's all I remember from Body Heat. Yeah. God, now I'm getting half a wreck thinking about Kathleen. The History of the World Part 1
One of the
by
greatest
Mel
comedies
Brooks.
Mel
Look at
Brooks.
that. Oh my God. Mel Brooks had a string of fantastic films. I don't know where History of the World Part 1 falls in for me. I mean, for me, Blazing Saddles, I actually love the 12 Chairs and the producers. But I don't know. I don't think History of the World
It
Part
was a
1 is
bit more hit and miss.
It's
Give me
down
Shelby.
the list. I mean, Young Frankenstein has got to be top, at least for me.
I do like the bit where he goes to pick up his unemployment money. When he's did you bullshit this week? Have you bullshitted? Because he's a stand-up comedian, but they call it bullshit. So you're a bullshitter.
Stand-up philosopher.
Stand-up philosopher, yeah.
Bullshit artist.
Have you bullshitted this week?
Yeah, and then wait for the shake piss boy. It's the best fucking thing with Harvey Korman. Oh my God. All right, there we go. Yeah.
Scanners. That's a
Good
Gem.
movie right there. Heads
Great one.
exploding.
Exploding,
Memorial.
yeah.
oh my god.
Oh,
Richard
Scanners.
Clash of the
Michael
Titans.
Ironside again. I love Scanners. Great.
Yeah.
So I
Clash
think-
the Titans.
Yeah. I always think Clash of the Titans was like from the 70s, like mid-70s. I always forget it was 81.
because of all the stop motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that crazy clockwork owl that they had in
yeah.
there. I remember going to
Kubo.
the arcade and playing Spy Hunter, and you guys know what I'm
Yes,
talking about,
yes.
dude. And then I remember buying this fanzine because they used to have all these sci-fi and fantasy fanzines with what was coming out. And I bought this really thick magazine of Clash of the Titans, and it had like rumors for Return of the Jedi. But this movie was crazy, and the amount of special effects and the budget that went into that movie for at the time, Clash of the Titans, was incredible.
It is. So
Starlog,
Harry
actually.
Harrison really elevated the stop motion in that film.
And then the dude from L.A. Law was like the hero. What's his name? Harry somebody or other.
Barry Corbin Burnson.
Harry
Yes,
Hamlin.
that guy. Harry Hamlin.
Oh,
I
that
don't know
guy.
what-
Sorry, the other one from
Yeah.
LA. Yeah.
I don't know Christine F. I don't know what this
I
is.
saw that one.
Yeah, has it got tits in it? Thief. I didn't
Was
see
it?
that one. This one has Jim Belushi,
James
Willie
Caan.
Nelson. Yeah, James Caan and Tuesday Weld. It was directed by Michael Mann, who's
That's
known for
a good movie.
really.
Very good movie. Yeah, overlooked Michael Mann classic. That one. Yeah.
Good night, Nos.
Yeah.
Good night, Nas. Yeah, Michael Mann, of course, produced Miami Vice. Huge television show.
Indeed.
Good night, no, sorry, mate. Oyasumi, I missed that. Oyasumi, and thanks for your support.
I don't remember Possession.
Yeah, Possession, that was directed by Andrzej Zulawski, starred Isabella
Isabella
Angelini,
Adjani and Sam
Isabella
Neill.
Adjani, oh my God. She was so
pretty
beautiful.
Yeah, she was. All right, now we have to watch that. There might be boobs in it. My Dinner with Andre.
Louis Malle.
Reds.
That was
I
a
remember
good
that.
movie. Reds.
Atlantic City was the last movie he directed before he died. That was a pretty good movie. Atlantic City.
Yeah, that's
Burt
the
Lancaster.
movie. Reds was where Warren Beatty. That movie lost a shitload of money. Lost
Yeah.
a
Yeah, I
shitload of
remember
money for
hearing that.
Hollywood. No,
I wonder
imagine that.
why.
In Reagan's America, you're making a movie about communism. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Quest for Fire.
Yeah, Ray Don Sean, Ron Perlman, Caveman, even then, in that movie. Yep. Arthur.
Quest for Farts, I should call that one.
Oh my God! Look at this, Arthur in heavy metal.
In metal.
Oh my
Fuck
Heavy
yeah.
Oh my God,
Oh,
heavy metal.
Heavy
There's a
metal.
clip of that in my intro that not many people get it. Yeah.
Great movie.
At the time, Arthur and Dudley Moore, that was such an amazing movie. There was nobody who was doing that kind
Yeah.
of humor the way that Dudley
He
Moore
was
was.
at the peak of his fame then, I guess.
After 10, and then this came out, Arthur.
Yeah.
I love John
with Bo
Gielgud.
Derek.
The John
Yeah.
Gielgud. So it does, Arthur says, "I think I'll take a bath," and John Gielgud says, "I
I'll
love
alert
the media."
I love that shit, dude. He was so perfect. That
It's
it's just
so
he's
cutting.
I love that movie. And then you had Liza Minnelli, who's
Oh
let's
my
just say
gosh.
she's a sturdy woman. She's a very sturdy looking woman. She's the love interest to Dudley Moore in this movie.
Guys, just want to quickly shout out. Thank you, Weird Science Comics. Jim, I hope you're good. I hope you're Genki. Have a great New Year's Eve, mate. Take care. Thanks for dropping
And
in.
apparently, someone has sent you a secret Stream Elements tip
Oh, sorry. I
rather
missed
than a
it.
super chat, and I don't know how you would see that, but
Thanks, 17th. I'll bring that up.
It's somebody that wants it to be on the DL, but I don't know why. But
Good
they
night,
just told me that they'd sent you it. So
Nosferatu's going to bed. Good night, Nos.
Good night, Nos.
good night,
Thanks
Nos.
for always being in everybody's chats and for
But yeah,
busting
John-
me up all
This
the
is
time.
when John
Seriously.
Gielgud perfected his sarcastic up English thing. You know?
Yeah. We should probably just end it here at heavy metal. I don't know. It's not my show. I can keep going, but I want to be respectful of everybody else. Heavy Metal was such an incredible movie. I snuck in to see that when I was 11 with my 9-year-old brother, and
Some
we
of
thought
the
it was
best
just going to be
cartoon
like,
boobs ever.
yeah, dude, we were
You
blown
see the
away.
South Park one they did? Where they
No.
roasted it? They had the chick from Heavy Metal in South Park. That was the
I
one
did
where they
not
got
know
high
that.
on cat piss. And they would go to Heavy Metal Land. And it would play like, you know. And she was in it and she wouldn't talk. And they even talked like. Isn't it weird how you like almost see your boobs but never quite see it all? It's like, what the hell's going on in here? Yeah, he was like
it's cra-
totally roasted, man.
It's
Fucking
crazy, though,
hilarious.
But like watching Heavy Metal 2000, which I hated when it came out, I actually tolerated it. But like the end scene with the original chick from the bikini boob chick from Heavy Metal 81, that's the only good part of that movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's only got a 6.6 rating because I thought people loved heavy metal.
Oh, it's a cult hit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great soundtrack. Great
Then
soundtrack.
you've got your SCTV guys again, John Candy, Joe Flaherty,
Yep.
Yeah.
Ramus was in it. And
Ramus, yeah.
This looks Italian. No, it looks French. Nobody gives a shit.
Southern Comfort. I'm going to do a
remember
video.
that.
I'm going to do
Yeah,
a stream on that
dude.
film. That's on my list of films to do.
That's
on
a
my Monday
crazy
show.
film.
I love Southern Comfort.
The Howling by Joe Dante stars Dee Wallace, Patrick McNee,
McNee.
Dennis
I just
Dugan,
saw that
and
not too
Kristen
long ago.
Christmas. Wow.
I like the first Howling. The rest, not so much, but the first one's really good.
Yeah.
The first one is very good and weird, dark, a little bit sexy as well.
I don't know any of
Huh?
these.
Oh,
I don't know what the hell
Mephisto.
that is.
Jesus.
Oh, Mephisto.
Mephisto. No way.
Victory.
Mephisting. Well, there's Pele just died, of course. And he's in
Yeah.
Escape.
Yes.
And that was actually called
Stallone.
Escape to Victory in the UK, not
Yes,
just
it
Really?
was.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
70s. I
different
remember
title.
that. Yeah.
Different title, yeah.
It's
Slightly
crazy
different.
because John Huston directed that. Look at that. Michael Caine, Sylvester
Huston.
Stallone, Pele,
Yep.
Bobby Moore.
They had a bunch
I've
of
never
soccer players
seen
from
this.
the day in there.
I'm assuming it's Walter. John Huston, isn't he the son of another Houston?
Well, John Huston is the original
Angelica
Western
Houston's
director.
his daughter.
It's
Yes,
Houston, isn't
Angelica
it?
Houston. Yeah, Angelica
she's his daughter.
Huston
He-
is his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the
That's
original.
it, yeah.
He also did the voice for Gandalf, if I'm not mistaken,
Actually,
in
there's-
1977's.
There's a
Hobbit.
possibility it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
different
that's right.
John Huston.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's the same John Huston.
You don't think so? We'll have to
No.
look. We'll have to look.
There's John Huston, the famous actor, and there's John Huston who was
Director.
I'll look.
A director.
Guys,
They're both
just
one
like-
and the same.
Probably right.
Just let
I
me
thought they were
shout
the
out.
same person.
I found those missing super chats, which have gone straight to Stream Elements directly. That's great. Earlier on, Zombie Box
could be
Reviews. I missed your message, mate. My super chats weren't showing, so I thought I'd send you a tip instead. Congratulations on hitting 1K subs. Here's to 2023 and beyond, my friend. Thank you, ZBR Zombie Box Reviews. Really
by.
appreciate that. And Invisible Munchausen tipped $5. You are officially pro status. I'm a pro, baby. I'm a pro. Pay me enough and I'll go down on you. No problem.
Wow, it's like Grand Theft Auto
Wow.
over here. We can kill the hooker. Grace the hooker. I love it.
Forgive me if it was the same John Huston.
No,
That's
dude,
funny.
I don't know. I was kind of winging it on that one.
He was a director and an actor both.
Yeah, but I don't see in John Huston, the famous actor, father of Angelica and son of Walter Huston, who was
right.
in all the westerns. I don't
know, sorry.
believe. I do not believe he directed Escape to Victory, unless it's not in his credits on IMDb.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
right there, John Huston.
Fuzzy Bear says Shield Wall.
But it
There you
would
go.
be pronounced Houston.
Fozzie Bear.
Sure. Yeah, that's the dude. That was Gandalf. Dude, look
That
at
is
him.
weird.
I know. I mean, I'm not doubting you. I'm doubting IMDb.
I think they just
Yeah,
made it.
come on.
yeah.
IMDb made a mistake. The postman always rings twice.
I
Jesus,
think
Salty.
they
Hold
did.
on.
They do miss credits, so it must have been him. Yeah, it was him.
Look at
You're
the-
right. Sorry about
There's-
that. Yeah,
No.
It's him.
Stop,
I
stop
see it. I'm looking on-
apologizing.
I just felt it. I thought, why would he do a movie about soccer? You know, he's a,
I
Don't
don't
say,
know
it's-
80s. People do
don't
There's
say
an
sorry
Outland.
on this channel.
There's Outland that you guys were talking about, which is a
Oh,
movie
yeah.
I haven't seen in years.
It's a good one.
it's a fantastic.
Peter
movie.
Boyle is in that. Of
I've
course,
got
the Great
special
Muppet
edition
Caper.
steelbook of Outland. It's pretty neat.
I saw that in the theater. The Great Muppet Caper.
I don't remember the
Fantastic.
Great Muppet Caper, Salty. Is that the one after the original Muppet movie?
Yes, it's because the
Muppets
first
Go
one
to
is,
Manhattan. Remember that one?
They go to
Yeah,
Britain,
that
this
one came later. This was they go to the UK, and there's a bunch
remember,
of
What?
I think
How come I
John
don't know this?
Cleese. We
No
should
way.
watch this on Discord. It's a great movie.
Oh my god!
It's a good
Good night,
movie.
Shelby.
Good night,
Good
Shelby.
night, Shelby.
Good night.
Thanks, Shelby. Thanks for coming in.
There's a lot of crazy French shit in this. Diva. I don't know what that's about.
Taps. That was one
Taps.
of
Taps,
yeah.
yeah.
Taps.
Shield always
Yes.
talk about that. Taps.
Yeah, Sean Penn before he became a communist globalist tool.
On that note, Salty, let me just drop this
I
quickly.
blame him. You know where every time
Just another night in the Grey household.
Do you know where
That's me and
everything
Mrs.
went wrong?
Wakizashi. Yeah, celebrating.
Where did everything go wrong for Sean Penn after he married Madonna? Okay, there's a
Yes.
lesson to be learned here. All right,
There
Went from
is
Spicoli
Tom
to
Cruise was in that one
I know.
too.
It's my skull. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll always
Peak-
fondly remember him ordering a pizza in class in
Mr. Hand's class. Yes, yes. Taps was a great movie though. The Postman.
and Tom
always
Cruise
makes
is in that.
sense. Yes, he is young.
That's a rather dirty
One of his
movie.
first
The
ones.
Postman always-
R-rated, Salty. R-rated
Yeah.
back then.
Jack
Jack Nicholson, Jessica
Nicholson.
Lange.
Yeah.
Dirty
Yeah.
movie.
I have
Oh.
not seen this one.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of experience, 70s.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have you seen
I
it
saw
recently?
No, I saw it at the time.
I can't remember it. I just know
Bob
it was
Raffleson,
kind
good
of
director.
naughty.
There you go.
Ragtime.
French
Ragtime, I
Lieutenant's
remember that.
fine. Yeah.
Is that about the
Meryl
time of the
Streep.
month?
Jeremy Irons. Wow, that was brilliant. No, it's
So that's
actually.
an proper art movie.
Only Purple got that. Thanks, Purple.
I got it too.
Thanks for
James
laughing.
Cagney.
Good job, Gray.
So sorry. I'm drunk now.
No,
Teddy
good.
bear.
Join me.
Prince of
Salty, cheers. I've got a can of premium malts. Here we go. Suntory. There we go.
Brilliant.
Hang on. Absence of Malice. That's a brilliant
movie.
movie. Yeah,
That's a great movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sidney Pollack. Again, same guy who did the 3 Days of the Condor, which if you have not seen that movie, is
3
a
Days of the
great
Condom?
movie. 3 Days of the
You should
Condor.
really replace it after one use.
Condor. Condor.
3 Days of
His
the Condor
niece,
Man.
Sidney Pollock's
That's
niece,
it.
was
Condor
one of my
Man.
instructors in college.
Condor
No
Man. That
way.
was
Yeah.
British actor that played the lead in that. What was his name?
Michael. What's his
Some
name
mothers
again?
do have him. Some mothers do have him.
Wow.
The guy that
I'll
was
be
in
right
that
back,
show.
you guys. I'll be back.
Condor
Okay,
Man.
Purple. Do you remember that?
Michael.
Mike.
Michael.
Oh my God,
He
not
was
Michael.
in Some Mothers Do Have Him.
Yes, and he also did Phantom of the
and
Opera.
Phantom of the Opera. He was the first Phantom
Yeah.
of the Opera on
A
Broadway.
very unknown British superhero movie, Blair de
Condor
Blair
Man.
and Zax. Condor Man, it was called. It was terrible, but I went to the cinema to see that as a kid.
remember
I thought
that.
it was amazing.
I didn't see it in the theater, but I remember trying to rent it. It took a long time to get, and
Okay, Zax,
Yeah.
really?
Michael Crawford.
Crawford,
Michael
that's it,
Crawford.
yes.
Because he was a huge star in Britain because of TV stuff he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Okay, I remember this. Oh my
Condor
God,
Man,
I haven't
yeah.
seen this in like forever.
Oliver Reed was in it. My God, that must have been a shit show.
Zombie Box is saying, didn't Sean Penn, knock her out when she tried to prevent him from going out for some booze? He tied her to a chair and shoved a sock in her mouth.
Yeah.
I have to applaud that. I have to applaud
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Round of applause, Sean.
Is that a movie or is that real life?
No, I,
Is it real? Is it just
somebody should
fantasy
do that turn
caught in a
now.
landslide?
I heard a chair.
No escape
Her from
from
getting out.
reality. Sorry. Zax, you naughty boy.
Yeah,
My
Oliver
favourite
Reed.
Canadian brother. A $10 super sticker from Zax. Thank you so much. It's
thank you.
What is it? Is it a
doing, Zax?
rhino? A rhino on a chair? Skidding
like-
on a chair.
it looks like a hippo.
A hippo, sorry, yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah, he's
hippo.
got no... He's got no
Lizzo.
horn.
No
He's
horn.
lost his
Lizzo.
horn, like me.
But congratulations, Gray. You deserve it. You've earned it. And yeah, I'm very happy for you. And with that, I'm going to go to bed.
Okay, Zax,
Yes.
thank you so much.
might not
Sorry
be
I missed
further
your
him.
private chat.
Congratulations. You
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
the impossible. You did
Thank-
the impossible. Bravo.
Thanks to you all. Thank you. And
Seriously.
good night.
Good night, bro.
Zax,
Sleep
before you go, do you have anything coming up, or are you all YouTubed
Oh.
out?
Wednesday at 9 Central, there'll be something. I don't know what yet. I haven't thought at all past this. So, yeah, I don't know.
Let
Something.
the man go to bed. Let him
Thank
go
you
to
so much
bed.
for your support, Zax. I mean it. I always say it, but I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Cheers. Good night, guys. Thank you so much.
Good night, Matt.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, dude. Good night.
Okay, guys, should we wrap things up? Because it's late for you,
I
isn't
gotta
it?
get to bed
Yeah.
It's early for me, but it's late for you. And thank you for coming on, Blair to Blair, Salty Texas, Salty Traveling Sea, Purple Valkyrie, that 70s rock fan. If anybody wants to shout anything out, now is the time to do it.
too. Boobs. I'd like to shout out boobs.
Boobs.
I'll second
I
that.
want. I'll triple that.
Purple.
Boobs.
I love you,
Boobs.
Purple. I knew there's
Boobs, areolas, and nipples. Not
Indeed.
just the
Not just
whole
this right. We
package,
should
whole
be
package.
equity.
Oh, Jesus.
Get in my mouth. Ah,
Speaking of boobs, I'm trying to find a clip, but I don't have a boob clip. I'm sorry. The closest thing I have is this. Oh my
Damn.
God, what's going to happen here?
As we say in
That'll
the
work
military,
too.
as we used to say in the military, that's close enough for government business.
That's
That'll
true.
do.
Looks like someone's going to the all-you-can-eat clam buffet in that one. Holy cow!
We suddenly went there.
We took a turn.
We did. To try and get us away from that, Monday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time is my It's Only Talk and Roll, and we're doing canon movies, so be there.
Hell yeah. I'll
It'll be
there.
fun.
Are you going to be
3
talking
p.m.
ninja, canon ninja movies, or just all canon kind of 80s pulp?
Well, yeah, all.
Okay.
People
well,
can
that
bring their
sounds awesome.
and apparently, well, there's going to be. I'm not entirely sure that there's a couple of guests, quite knowledgeable guests on the subject, may be coming to the show. I can't talk about it yet, but
Okay.
Wow.
Tom Connors is going to be there, and he's bringing someone who's basically literally wrote the book on canon. So
Oh, cool.
No
so
way.
that could be fun. Yeah,
Nice 70s.
But
You
I can't-
tease. You.
yeah. Well, I don't know if it's confirmed yet or not, but
Yeah, fair enough, mate. And
but
thanks
either
for
way,
coming
we'll
on.
have fun. No, thanks for having me, mate, and congratulations. You deserve it, and can't wait till you get to 100,000.
Ah, yeah, right. You'll be there soon, 70s. You'll be there soon.
You
Yeah,
will.
well,
Yes,
if I live
yes.
long enough.
Blair, how about you?
Next week on the 3rd, I'm going to be on Jacob Ironside. We're going to be me and the Portal Lifeform. We're going to be talking about Twilight Zone.
Oh, sweet.
Awesome.
Movie or
the movie
TV
or the
show?
series?
I believe the series, because here's like a
hell
continuing.
Great minds.
The song by the band Golden Earring, Twilight Zone.
Into the Twilight Zone.
That'd be a cool intro song
Feels
for it,
like
though.
I
but-
am
It
blown.
would, wouldn't it? That would work.
And
That's
then
a great
later in the
song.
month, I'm going to be on Jacob Ironside with Roman of the Empire, and we're going to talk about Star Trek 6.
Oh, fantastic movie. Love it. David Warner from Time Bandits is in that movie too.
I love
Yeah,
the
it's David
combat in
Warner,
that
one of my
movie.
favorite.
The
Yeah, one of
combat
my
in that
favorite
movie is outstanding.
Oh.
Some of the best ship battle scenes in that movie. Yeah.
And thank
Purple
you,
Valkyrie,
Gray,
how
for
about
throwing
you?
out the
Oh.
link. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I'm sorry, mate. It was last minute. I didn't realise if I'd known, you're a big fan of the movie, I would have invited you from the start. Thank you. Purple Valkyrie, how about you? What have you got coming up with in the woo-woo world?
Yeah, we'll probably be having more woo-woo next week, but I want to say huge thank you and congratulations again, Gray. You really, really did deserve it. We're so proud of you.
Thank you. I can report, ladies and gentlemen, in my first 4 days on YouTube, I've made exactly 60 cents. There we go.
Welcome to the
club. Until
It's
tonight.
It
Until
only
tonight.
gets worse. It only gets worse from here.
Wait
That's
till they
the
take-
new tax
wait till they
bracket, so
tax
you're
it,
going to be
yeah.
paying now.
I think they take 30 because I'm from Japan. Like you
Yes.
can't appeal it. It's basically it's a straight 30.
Yeah.
They take everything.
But
Yeah,
the super
take
chats, I really appreciate those. They've been fantastic. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. You've really made me feel like appreciated, so welcome. You keep saying you deserve it. I don't know about that, but I'm
earned
just
it.
glad. I'm glad to
Ray,
meet you all. As you were saying
earned
before,
this.
you earned
You
it. Yeah,
earned
but
this. You
it's put me in
didn't,
touch with you, Salty, 70s, Purple, Blair,
I'm
all the
still a
people in the
great-
chat.
I'm still a great believer that good things happen to good people, and you're a
Agreed.
good person, mate.
Yeah, but what about nice guys finish last? And only the good
No.
die young.
Only the good die young. Well,
Now
that's
I
why
want
I'm
to
still alive.
karaoke. Now I want to karaoke.
I know, Salty. Yeah, we got to do it. We got to do a karaoke stream, which YouTube will kill you for, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I
can
do. I
copyright
try to
claim.
do my radio shows, and it's mental.
We can't even do
do it in Rumble.
karaoke versions.
Can do it in Rumble though.
Yeah, go to Rumble
should
and do
do
that.
that. We should do that.
Odyssey.
Oh, right. Do they not hit 70s? They're not
Not
hit for a
nearly
copyright.
as bad. No.
Nice idea.
So I'm going to do more music stuff over there. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because you
Yeah,
can't talk about music without playing the bloody stuff.
I
you
know,
know,
it's
it
so
doesn't
annoying,
work.
isn't
I
it?
know.
Well, it's the same with films. How can you talk about a film without showing a couple
Without
of clips?
showing a clip.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah,
got to cut the
yeah.
music out. Oh,
Good
That would
luck
be a
showing
huge
anything
fight.
from Paramount. Good luck showing 2 seconds
Well,
of
this is
anything
it.
from
I
Paramount.
showed a few seconds of the offer and they got just like 3 seconds and bang.
yeah. I
Oh,
know,
you're gonna
right?
love this.
Blocked.
You're gonna love this shit. M. Night Shyamalan's new movie is about a gay couple that adopt an Asian baby, and then white
Yeah.
people come in and like kidnap them or whatever. The part where they hug that's in the trailer, which is 2 seconds long, YouTube demonetized the whole video for me using something that's already on YouTube that is the goddamn trailer for 2 seconds.
Fair
And it's like,
use.
no
Hello,
matter
fair
what
use.
no matter what I did, it wouldn't stop. And I'm like, fuck
That's
it, I
the
don't even
annoying
care.
bit.
Nobody gives a shit
How
about
many
M. Night
shit's already
punishments
out
Shyamalan.
like
there. This shit's already out there. Trailers are meant to be a promo for a movie. So why can't you show a bit of a trailer, for fuck's sake?
70s, you remember when YouTube was young, when it all started, and you could pretty much share and do anything?
I had a channel at the start of YouTube, and I used to put clips of VHS, stuff I'd digitized from VHS of... I'd recorded music stuff on Old Grey Whistle Test, whatever.
Dude, that's awesome.
I had dozens of those up there, no problem.
Dude, I want to watch those
beheading
now.
videos,
I would love to watch those because those old shows from the 80s with the music stuff.
Well, most of it's now up there from other people, but at one point I had 1 million plus views on one clip, which is Warren Zevon doing Werewolves of London and Old Grey Whistle Test. I had over 1 million views.
Old Grey Whistle Test, I remember that, man.
And
I remember that show too.
Because I had all this great VHS stuff. I was one of the first guys to take it and record it onto digital and put it on YouTube. I had millions of views.
I had a lot
money
of
out
old,
of it.
No, it wasn't about money back then. Yeah.
No, I had a lot of old Doctor Who on Betamax.
Betamax, salty.
Don't look at me. It was my old man. That was
better quality, wasn't it? That was supposed to be better quality than VHS.
Yeah, but porn went with VHS, so then Beta was dead. Just like HD, DVD, and Blu-ray, porn went with Blu-ray, which is why we now have Blu-ray, not HD DVD. It's a true story.
Yeah,
porn decides the format.
Yes, it does.
Gray, thanks for having me on the show. Congratulations. I know you'd be here. I'm not talking down to you, but you and I met a long time ago.
Yes,
and
we
you
did.
came on my Tuesday show, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I said, trust me, you belong here. And I was right. You deserve this. You earned this, and I'm really proud for you. So hail to you, brother.
Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Salty and Purple, you were there for me right from the start. I really appreciate it. And 70s, Blair to Blair. I mean, mate, Blair to Blair, the Blade Runner stream. That was so much fun.
I remember.
When you came on.
And
Talking
I met
about
Roman and Steven from that.
Yeah,
and
great
now
guys.
I stream with them.
Oh, see, this is what it's all about. It's making connections, like,
Absolutely,
isn't it?
mate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And 70s, thank you for having me on your stream. It's a long time ago, but it was basically down to Salty that I got invited onto that.
Dude, I bring everybody into everything.
He arranged
you gotta
that.
meet
Thanks
this
for that.
cat.
Salty's
So,
the pusher, or he's the what's the
I
guy
am.
that
I'm the
what's
pusher.
the guy
I'm
that
the
runs
dealer.
Call him the
bordel?
I'm
pusher.
the dealer. I'm the
guy that
drug
runs-
dealer.
He's the guy that runs the
Godfather.
bordel. That's right.
He's a pimp.
The pimp. That's it.
Pimp him out.
Baby. Bitch better start it. Where's my money? Bitch, where's my money?
Yeah, Gray.
He pimp
You
rolls
gotta,
when
you
he
gotta
walks.
pay
I've
back
seen
the
him.
pimp now.
Gotta pay back the pimp. Oh my god.
Like a sex machine.
It's my fucking pimp hand.
Huggy Bear from Huggy Bear from Starsky
Starsky and Hutch.
That's
I know exactly.
Is that what it
you're talking
was? Jesus. I used to watch the series.
Antonio
I used to watch
Fargas.
it,
He had
even in the UK.
The bell bottom's
Unbelievable.
that wide.
Oh God.
That's
And
you,
the
Salty.
collar was this high.
And the
Shield
platform
Wall saying
shoes.
Salty is the meth bear. There we go. And Zombie Box. It's about community. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's true. That's what it is. It's
It's
about.
about
is true.
tribes. It's tribal. This is tribal, and there are tribes on YouTube. There are, and
Well, there are.
we don't all get along, and it's not fucking kumbaya out here. I can tell you that.
Fair to
It's
think of
not.
them as clans
It's not.
rather than
And,
tribes.
and I'm really becoming not kumbaya with some people, and I don't give a fuck because I just don't
When
care
two
anymore.
tribes go to war,
You know?
one is all
Yeah.
that you can.
Score.
Score.
Right on.
Go to war. Let's
On
go.
that note, let's end it. Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, on the panel, thank you so much. Here we go. Gray's slightly
New Year.
drunk. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you all. New Year's Eve for you. It's
New Year.
almost
Happy New Year.
almost New Year's Day for me. It's another
Happy New Year's,
7, 8. Sorry, I can't do math. 7.5 hours.
You're in
It's
Asia.
4
How can you not do math?
It's 4:20 because I'm English, mate. I'm English with really shitty teeth, terrible math skills, no idea what's going on.
Did you go to public school as well, Greg?
How are you single, Gray? How are you single? Would be
I'm
that
poor.
amazing.
I never went to public school. I'm poor. Oh wait. No, yeah, I did. Sorry, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no private school for me,
No
Salty and
private.
Purple. I will
See,
have you
this-
know.
those in North America don't realise that a public school in Britain is not a school that ordinary people go to. It's a private school that people pay to go to. But it's called a public school.
I thought so. Yeah, I was getting.
Yep.
My brain was
weird.
gone 70s. Yeah, I was getting
but
confused.
that's-
Comprehensive, yeah.
Yeah. And us oiks just went to the state schools.
Oiks.
Oiks, who's oiks? Us plebs.
Oiks as plebs.
I'm just
No,
glad
but
I went to.
let's
high
end on
school
a
in
positive
the
note,
80s.
Salty. I'm glad I met you and you and you and you and da da da.
In my shadow,
Wacky Statues!
strolling down
Please
the
subscribe.
Avenue.
Me and my
Doing the Lambeth walk.